Hi all, it's Rands Adventures, and this is theme park chat. So obviously Friday night, 8 o'clock, and we're in. So just wanted to say hello to everyone, everybody that's in the channel. We've got Dave's Adventures, we have Coasted Chicken, we have Oscar's Airtime. Who else have we got? That's it for the minute. Obviously, lots of people will probably join. So today we have Theme Park Shots by Warren. Obviously, Warren from Theme Park Shots by Warren. We're going to talk about all his everything that he does and everything like that. So it's really, really good. I can't wait to talk to him about everything, how he got started and what he does and all the stuff to do with his like the shop online that he's got, all these pictures, how he designs them and everything. Can't wait to see all that. Anyway, hi Journey to Attractions. How are you? Hi Mike. How are you? Yeah. So without further ado, let's bring in Warren. Hi Warren.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So everybody's in. They're all saying hello and everything else like that. So that's really good. So I just wanted to sort of like first start off, like, where did you start doing like photography? And
God, I don't know. To be quite honest, I've enjoyed photography a long time. I don't think I got into it properly until probably during lockdown.
right,
Because our other hobby is theatre, so a lot of our theatre shows got cancelled due to COVID.
yeah,
At that point in time, during the start of the pandemic, none of the theatres knew what were happening. No one really did they, let's face it. So instead of rescheduling the shows, they couldn't tell people when the shows were going to be rescheduled. So a lot of it was refunded. So we had quite a lot. We had an accumulation of money just sat there building up, and because we didn't know what was happening, I wanted to try and get a camera. So we both agreed that I could spend it on a camera. So I went and bought a proper camera. And to be quite honest, I didn't actually take the camera to parks properly until probably last year. I was always worried about taking it, leaving it on the side of rides and things like that. And the first sort of backpack that I bought was a bit of a pain, because you had to take like a drawer out of the bottom of the bag to get the camera out, and it was very fiddly. And I bought a new one sort of early last year. I think it was just before I met. I think it was actually the day before I ended up meeting Sam.
across the towers.
I can't actually remember if I took my camera that day. I think I did. I'm sure I did. But yeah, I didn't use to take it much to parks, mainly because of obviously I didn't want to damage it. So it's Julie's back carrying it around. It does weigh quite a bit. Cameras, digital SLRs are quite heavy. So I just didn't really take it to much parks. Much I really relied on my phone more than anything else.
Yeah.
But as everybody knows, mobile phones, they're great, take really good photos. Excuse me, but they don't last all day. The batteries aren't. You could have the best phone on the market, but the batteries just don't last long enough.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I tend to take my camera a lot more now than I used to.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it really regarding photos. I mean, I've always took them. I've always had a camera sort of stuff, but not like a proper sort of like professional one. I've had like the smaller, like a compact camera kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've always had them. I used to get them like, it was like a ritual that my mum and dad would buy one every year for Christmas. So like an upgraded camera, but then I started to get into it a bit more. I remember for my 21st birthday, I bought sort of like a semi sort of SLR. It was like a super zoom camera. So it was like an SLR, but you couldn't change the lens and things like that. And that's where I sort of got into it a lot more. I regret not taking I took a camera to Florida when we went to Florida, but I think it was only the last time I went. I didn't have a proper camera because obviously I really bought that during lockdown. But I regret not having like a proper one back in the times when I did go to Florida. So I look back at photos to try and edit some of the ones that I took in Florida are quite hard because they're not as good quality. Obviously because the pixels are not as good. You know, some of the pictures are from 2017. Even the phones weren't that good back then either.
No, they weren't. No, I mean, I use a Samsung phone to do my recording, but as you said, the battery dies on it really fast. And if I do I want to do like live streams and I want to do pictures, and then I think like I'm gonna have to invest. I'm gonna have to invest in a small camera. I think like a vlogging camera of some sort. I've seen a couple on the market that I've looked at, but whether they're any good, I don't know.
I mean, mine was only, I think mine was only, where is it? I literally just had it because I put it away and now I can't see it. There we go. This one was only £40 on eBay.
Right. Oh, wow. I thought it's
the full rotating screen.
Yeah.
That was only £40 on eBay. That's quite a decent camera. It came with a proper external microphone as well that you put on the top. So it was all right for £40.
Oh, that's good.
I don't
that's
really
like a camcorder.
That's full camcorder, yeah. So you can use it for
Yeah.
vlogging because it's got the flip screen, so you can turn it around and do it that way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought of that. I never thought of a little camcorder, to be honest. I never thought of that.
I mean, it's really good. I've used it for off-ride. So like when we did, when I did this Pleasure Beach cinematic, I used that quite a lot for that. I used the phone and I used the proper camera. I used like a mixture of things. But the phone for me that I've got and that I had previously, I prefer that for videos. It's got ultra steady mode. Because a lot of the time, especially when I'm trying to hold a phone for quite a long time, like a camera or a phone, so I don't tend to vlog as much because my hand starts to shake quite a lot.
Yeah.
Which that phone does help because it's got anti-shake on it.
Yeah.
So it automatically, even if my hand is shaking, it will automatically stabilize it. You won't hear like the rattling of the phone shaking. It automatically steadies the video. So that does help quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah. And then obviously you took obviously your main sort of focus is obviously Instagram, taking photos.
Yeah.
And some of the photos that you've produced, like you've been showing us and obviously putting on Instagram, some of the way that you like change the colors and the backgrounds and that some of the effects on your photos are they're really good. You know, the way that they look and like the bit where you got, like, I've seen the picture like the one with Jewel and things like that, where you know the background's changed. It's obviously not the same as it would be, obviously in Alton Towers, but the way that you've done and changed like the lighting and everything else like that looks proper amazing.
Yeah, I mean the editing does take a while. Some photos are a lot harder to edit than others. I mean, I think she's watching. Rachel, she'll know as well that what one of the biggest problems and the pet hates, especially for people that do edit the photos, like me, who spend a lot of time, and they're quite. I don't say that my editing skills are fantastic. I don't portray myself to be the best of the best, but I think a lot of stuff that I do is quite different. It's quite unique in some ways. A lot of the time as well, that really annoys me. And I know it's happened to Sam. It's happened to Rachel.
I'll see Rachel's in, yeah. So
people taking your photos and using them for their own, which you know what I've always said, I don't mind anyone doing it, but just show the credit for it. Just, you know, say that it was done by the original person. It takes a lot of time to do what we do, and it's only fair. But yeah, I mean, my focus is photography. I do quite a lot of off-ride footage, things like that, and I have done quite in the past and sort of recently quite a few of POVs, but I don't really do that much videoing. Mainly because most of my time is focused on photography, but obviously with POVs, that will sort of help to get more content on sort of like YouTube for me, because it means that I can do that on the ride, and then when I come off the ride, I can spend the time doing the photos. So killing two birds with one stone, I suppose.
Yeah, because obviously I've seen that on obviously your your channel's behind me, obviously on the TV here behind me, but the way that you've changed, as I said before, the way that you've changed all your thumbnails so they look like a big, a big picture reel, basically, don't
Yeah.
they? It's like you would have them going through a camera or something like that, the way you've done them, and that's really, really good. Obviously, that's personally to you because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And obviously, I like a lot of the off-ride ones you've done, like stealth, and you've slowed them down, and things like that, and of Rita and things like that, where you've slowed everything down and
Yeah.
certain things, so it's done looks really, really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, because like I said, I don't do videos a lot, so a lot of stuff that I do post on YouTube is old, and I try to revamp it, especially with the quality of it, them, because they are quite older content, does need upscaling, so it does take a while to do it. But hopefully, I will get some more stuff on YouTube this year. We've got we've got quite a lot of plans, so hopefully we can get some on ride.
Yeah, I'll see your. I just want to say hello to. Obviously, Sam's just jumped in, and obviously Darren as well. So I just want to say hello to them guys. Obviously, I see Rachel as well. She's in as well. I see Rachel come in as well. So
she's in. She's probably sat drinking wine, the bougie bugger.
I see the list. I see the list that you've put up of the places that you're going.
Yeah, we like to. Everything has to be done quite far in advance. So we do get quite a lot of things booked in advance. We've already got confirmed plans for next year.
Oh wow!
As far as March next year, so everything we do is booked quite far in advance. There's very, very few times that we do sort of like spontaneous spirit at moment things.
Right.
We do book a lot of our stuff quite far in advance, so it gives us something to look forward to. And if in the in the interim we can do some spare in the moment, then fair enough. But obviously with the parks, it's a lot harder to just sort of like unplan stuff with the pre-books and all that palaver. It really does do my head in.
Yeah, you can't just undo them, can you now? Like, you can't just undo a pre-book. You have to contact them, cancel it, and
if you're platinum, you can.
Yeah.
So the platinum's got their own portal for Merlin, so you can cancel or edit the date through the website. But if you've got any of the older, sort of the legacy passes, the premium or standard or gold, discovery, silver, you've got to still fill in the form online, which I think is a bit annoying. I mean, I've never had the old. I had the old type pass. I had the premium one. We had the premium one for about 5 years. It was only either November or December last year that we cancelled it. Simply because it was just getting so restrictive. So the original idea of premium was the equivalent of the new platinum. But it was making it sort of more of at the gold level or the silver, which wasn't really much use to us. I mean, we do go primarily on a Thursday or a Sunday, but I don't want to be restricted off not being able to go through an entire month, because with the new restrictions, it meant you couldn't go at all in August. I mean, I don't really like August. Try to avoid school holidays as much as I can, but well, there's got to be something we've got to do. Something. I can't sit at home for a full month.
No.
Behind the walls. There's other places we can go, obviously. I mean, Pleasure Beach is not as busy in August as sort of Alton Towers, especially Alton Towers. That seems to be the busiest one out of all of them, and Chessington.
Chessington will be busy, I think, this season more than anything. I think, obviously, and Thorpe Park as well, because of Exodus and Club 236. So I think it's going to be like I think they're trying to compete with stuff at the minute, aren't they? Like with football.
They're all competing quite massively. I mean, obviously, I had this conversation quite a lot, and it's quite a heated debate on Twitter. I mean, I don't hate Twitter. Most people that are in this chat will know that Twitter in the theme park community it's like a different league of its own.
Right.
It's just a breeding ground for people to just be constantly rude to other
Right.
people and just belittle people for no reason whatsoever. So I tend to avoid off Twitter as much as I can. But the conversation that does prop up a lot is obviously the competition in the theme parks at the minute. You've got Merlin, you've got Alton Towers, you've got Thorpe, Chessington, and Legoland, all with future plans for the next sort of 4 or 5 years, and everybody will then pipe up and they will say, "Well, Pleasure Beach is not doing nothing." But what people don't realise is Pleasure Beach is family owned. They haven't got the money. They are trying.
No, they haven't,
Much
have
as they can. She spent all the money on Valhalla. She spent the last I knew it was £20 million. That was just for the refurbishment. It's cost more to refurbish it than the actual ride originally cost.
Wow.
So she is pumping money out, and it's still, as much as people will not agree, it's a lot more than what, say, Alton Towers has paid out for Curse at Alton Manor. I don't know the figure of that, but I highly doubt it's anywhere near 20 million. I don't think the original ride cost
That's a
anywhere
lot of
near
money
that
for
build.
Valhalla, isn't it? But I mean, the Valhalla originally was I understand. I've never been on it, but I didn't get a chance to go on it before it was refurbed. But I understand the ride itself was amazing anyway. And
I
then
don't remember much about Valhalla. 'Cause I mean, before, so with Pleasure Beach for us was always a park that was too very, very expensive to visit. Until they introduced wristbands. I remember Pleasure Beach being charged free entry, and you paid for every ride with tokens.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, it was very expensive. Like you was talking, this was back in like 97, 99. So we're talking a good while back. We're talking 20 odd year ago, and even back then, to go on the big one, you was talking £7 just to go
Oh
on
wow,
one ride.
really?
Yeah.
£7? What is that? Is that like? So did you have to buy like a wristband and then buy tokens, or?
I know. So it was anyone could walk into the Pleasure Beach during its open hours. It was free roaming. So everybody was allowed to just literally just walk into Pleasure Beach. Could just walk around it without paying to get in. And you bought like little. They look like old fashioned sort of like stamp books. And you tore tickets out. Or you could buy individual ride tickets, but the only individual ride ticket you could buy was for the big one. And that was £7 back in, as far back as I remember, it's 97, 99. Just to ride the big one. I think all your booklets, then you got the only place you could get sort of a wristband for was what is now Nickelodeon Land, which used to be Beaver Creek. That used to be unlimited rides. I think that was £11 for all the kids' rides, but everything else was just pay as you go, and it was so expensive. I mean, I didn't go. I went went with my auntie when she was alive. I think about 98, 90. Well, it was before my brother was born, so it was before 99. And then I went with my parents probably around about 2007. And then me and Dan didn't go together until 2018. And we stayed in the Big Blue. So we had the package with the tickets and the hotel. And then since then, for the last 4 years, I think it's been 4 years, we've had a season pass. When you do live a lot closer, like we only live 2 hours to Blackpool. It works out a lot cheaper for us to do a season pass. I mean, not as much as last year, because we had a lot of holidays last year and we went abroad quite a few times as well. As we are doing this year, our trips abroad this year, apart from Poland, are a lot shorter than they were last year. So last year, I think we all ended up doing Pleasure Beach about 15 times.
Oh wow!
But the previous year, we ended up at Pleasure Beach 36 times.
Oh wow! Oh
so
wow!
It worked out a huge amount cheaper than buying obviously day tickets.
Yeah.
I think the last time I looked Pleasure, I think the cheapest you can get it in advance is 36 for Pleasure Beach. I think that's the cheapest. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat, but I think it's 36. And then on the day, it is quite an eye-watering for, I think it's about £58 to £59, like the walk-up
to
price.
get into the Pleasure Beach?
Yeah, it is very expensive.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
For what it is, I mean, the day entry is expensive, and it's always been very expensive to get in. That's why when the sale comes on, they tend to launch the following year's season pass in usually September, October time.
Right.
And the first year we got the season pass, it was only I think we only paid £70 for a season pass.
Oh wow!
When they launched the sale. So if anyone is thinking of going to Pleasure Beach next year, have a look for the sale going on. Even if you only go twice and say that they're on sale for 70, you're still going to save a lot of money. You're still going to save around about £12 to £15 compared to the daily entry price. It's always worth getting a season pass. Plus, you also get it's not confirmed for this year, but you also get 1 free day entry into 5 European parks as well.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
I know they've confirmed this year so far. It's Europa Park. Last year it was Europa Park, Efteling, Isla Magica, Portaventura. I think that was it. But yeah, you do get free entry into those. I mean, it didn't really matter to us. We went to Portaventura last year, but we booked an all-inclusive on site, so we didn't really need it.
Yeah.
And she's not announced this year, so when we go to Efteling next month, we can't use it because we haven't got the season pass anyway yet. So it's just annoying that it's not open. If it had been opened the same time as last year, which was February, then we would have been able to use the free entry into Efteling. But unfortunately, it's not open by the same day as Alton Towers this year. I don't know why. And why she's doing it like that. It's been open in February for the last 10 years.
Right.
It's been open for weekends during the entire February. But this year she's pushed it back. I don't know why. I don't.
Is that because of Valhalla? Do you think?
I think it is, and I don't think that she wants to advertise the opening because she's made that mistake for the last 2 years. I know it's had problem after problem, which needed fixing. So unexpectedly, I believe that she wanted it open at the opening day last year. She advertised it as opening. They didn't open, so she changed it to summer.
Yeah.
And then never happened. There was rumours that there was going to do a preview on the closing day of last year. I don't know where that rumour started, but that wasn't true. It was still under construction last year. I think it's only just probably beginning of this year that the construction looks to have actually been completed. They've been testing a lot this week, and what I have heard from staff that the water has been pumped in this week as well. So it's looking positive.
Valhalla?
Yeah, Valhalla. Yeah, it's looking positive,
wow.
but we're not. I wouldn't like to put money on it, to be quite honest.
Well, I think Amanda's sort of like, she doesn't want to get her, hands burnt, really, does she? Because of obviously she doesn't want to say it's opening, and then it doesn't, and then she's going to have complaints from. I mean,
she had that last year and the year before, because she did predict it opening, and she was ready. It was ready to be open, but the day in the run up to it opening, it was found that there's more problems. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the major issue was being that a contractor that she hired for the refurbishment had actually damaged a pump.
Oh,
and due to the haulage issue that we had last year, with the haulage strikes and manufacturing strikes and Brexit and whatnot, the parts have just been a nightmare to get hold of.
Right.
Because it's an old ride.
Yeah.
As well, it's got a specific parts, and Intamin didn't actually stock it.
Right.
So they from what I'd heard, it had to be specially made, and it just took an absolute time and effort to try and get all of this part. Without that, there'd be no water pumped in. I think it was the final drop from what I'd heard.
Right.
So there'd be no water pumped in, so she couldn't have opened it anyway. It had just been effectively an indoor roller coaster.
Yeah. I've just seen Jess and Dow as well. They've been in for a little bit, but I just wanted to say hello to them as well. The Coaster Capturers, I see them came in as well, so I just wanted to say hello to them as well. Yeah. So obviously, I looked at obviously going to all the trips in Europe as well, but obviously, I just want to talk about your obviously the shop. I see you was advertising a lot of stuff yesterday, obviously your pin badges and all your merchandise and stuff from your photographs and a lot of stuff like that. So I just wanted to, hit on that. So, do you produce or do they get produced by an external company and then?
So yeah, I mean everything that I sell apart from, so I stopped doing them, but I used to sell prints. of the photography. I had to stop doing that. I did that all myself in house, printed it all, posted it. And the cost it's just ridiculous.
Mm.
I was struggling to even break even sometimes. Like if you just sell one print, the cost of ink is just astronomical.
Right.
Obviously, there's the electric for the printer as well. There's the paper that I used to use, which was probably the best paper that I'd used. It was very thick, but not too thick that it wouldn't go in the printer, but it was really thick that it didn't get damaged in the post or anything like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't find that paper for quite a while, so I had to change the paper. That caused quite a few issues with some orders, getting damaged in the post. Ink sort of I'd had a complaint that the ink had started to bleed when it had been posted. I don't know how that was. I don't think that was possible because I actually used to take photos of the orders before they were posted. So whoever that customer was didn't get what she wanted.
Yeah.
She was demanding a refund and she didn't get it. Because I proved that it wasn't me. So, but yeah, everything's produced sort of by manufacturers. So like the the towels, the mugs, coasters, phone cases, and anything else that's on the website is produced by a manufacturer on demand, and it comes from their direct warehouse to the customer.
Right.
The pin badges, I design them myself. I order them from a manufacturer. They're sent to me. Then I send them to customers. Once they come to me, I package them up. There is a way you can get them done by a manufacturer, and they send them out. They package them and print all the sort of the backing cards, but it's very expensive to do. So it's just a lot cheaper for me to have them done, sent to me, and then me forward them on to people that buy them. But other than that, yeah, everything that I sell now is done by external companies. I don't have any involvement anymore. It's just too expensive. The prints, that is just get a lot of. It's when at the height of them, especially at Christmas time. Not last year, the year before, I was very sort of like inundated. I had to shut the shop quite early. It was just ridiculous. I couldn't keep up with it. There's only me, and obviously Dan helps by driving to the post box or post office if it's needed to be franked before it posts. But I just couldn't cope with the demand the other Christmas. So I had to shut the shop quite early because we had lots of stuff over December, like theatre. We had a few theme parks. Pleasure Beach was open, and went to Towers and some other things as well. So we had quite a lot of stuff on. So it was just trying to keep up with those orders. I had to shut it quite early. It was too popular. I just couldn't cope. So I decided to stop the prints and just focus on sort of other sort of design. I mean, I can do the prints externally, but I know Sam will agree. Although obviously you're not putting much effort into it because it's all done by an external company, the profit margin on prints, even if you do it from an external company, without having to put the price sky high that nobody's going to buy one, you just don't make anything from it. I mean, I'm not about the making money part of it. That's not the whole point. But to sort of hand your photos out to other people, you'd want some sort of some sort of profit in it, but it's just not worth it anymore. Sam says he makes zero profit on this prints, just offer them for the love of it. I mean, yeah, I did that for some time. One of the problems that I had is I was sort of selling the prints at sort of like ridiculously low prices, to the point where I was more or less giving them away, and it was costing me. So I think I ran a sale at one point. I didn't actually realize what I'd done until the orders started coming through. So I ran a sale with a coupon, but the coupon was very misleading. The way this coupon was set up on this website that I had. So it was my understanding that the coupon will be taken off after the fees that they charge you for the transactions. But it come off just as like the checkout is like what the customer saw it as. So by the time I think it knocked the prints down to like £4.50. By the time the fees have come off, it was like I was only getting like £2.25. And the postage was nearly £2 anyway. So I was making like 25 pence just for, and that were wasn't even covering the
No.
cost of the paper or the ink or
No.
anything. It was just ridiculous. So I decided to stop that. I mean, I might do them in the future, but at the minute it's just I haven't got the time, especially to do them in house.
Yeah.
And I just haven't got I haven't got the expenses to be able to practically sit there and just print them all out myself.
Yeah.
When I was finishing
I think
work on
I
a
think
daily
Sam
basis.
said that he gets his done externally from a company, so
Yeah,
the order goes to Etsy and then it goes to the printer thing, and then they send it out for him, so
yeah,
he doesn't have any.
so it cuts out sort of the printing yourself.
Yeah.
You don't even have to post it. I think he uses a print on demand company, which is what I use for everything other than pins.
Right.
But it's a lot of time and effort, which I just don't have. Like when I was doing it myself, I was finishing work, my actual job, and then as soon as I finished work, I was literally sat there printing, shipping orders for a good couple of hours a night.
Right.
So I wouldn't have any time hardly to myself or to spend time with Dan or anything like that. It was just quite hard to keep up with. So I just couldn't be bothered anymore. And the issue with printing externally as well is I have done it before. I used to use an external company for a sort of A1 posters, which is like your biggest size sort of paper.
Yeah.
And I uploaded this photo to this company, and it came back saying that it passed the checks and it was full quality. And obviously, this customer had ordered this print as an A1 poster. And when she arrived, she says it was really, really bad quality.
Right.
But I don't get to see the product. I never get to see the
No, you
actual
don't.
finished
Yeah.
product. So luckily, although I'd had the profit on that was it was always something like £1.10. So in essence, all I was effectively down was the £1.10 because I had to pay that back to Etsy. But Etsy sorted the refund out, so it was nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't create the product, so it was done by the print on demand company, which then created the Etsy account for Etsy to then refund the customer. But I just can't be bothered with the print side of it. It's a lot of hassle, to try and keep on that and then do your Instagram, your YouTube, your Facebook, and everything else. It's just a lot of hassle. I tried doing a website. The website's very hard, but the shop website that's relatively easy to do. My actual website, that's probably the third version of the website, and that's to be fair, it's out of date. It's very out of date. I know it's out of date now. It hasn't been done for a long time, and it's just a lot of hassle to keep up with it. I'm not a big shot. I'm one person. There's only me. I'm not a big shot. I don't have tens of millions of followers like certain other people do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of a hassle. I don't see the need anymore, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I've got the decent following base on Instagram. I don't see the real need to do a website. So
Yeah.
I'll probably keep it on there at some point, probably over close season next year. This year, I will probably sort of update the website. But it's just trying to find time to do anything like that.
Yeah, Sam's saying the same. I think he's saying it's like
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for Sam, obviously, photography is Sam's job anyway, Sam's career. So it's going to be a lot harder for, it's going to be a lot more time consuming for him because that's what he does on a daily basis. It's time consuming for me, I mean, I don't do it as a business, but it is very time consuming, especially Instagram. Instagram can be very, very time consuming. You can post something and literally, as everybody knows with Instagram, it can be hit and miss. You can post something and it can, go absolutely crazy. Your phone can go off countless times. Then sometimes you can post something and you can get probably hardly anything, and it's just like people have, it has its off days, but
it does.
Instagram can be insane.
It's like a second job, like another job, isn't it? Like doing YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and trying to maintain all them, keeping up in touch with everybody, and then you're looking at your own stuff, and then you're looking at everybody else's, and then you're looking at everybody else's because you want to try and help everybody else out, you know. So it does get like a bit, you know. I'm not saying it's not. I love doing it, but obviously, like as well, your phone's pinging all the time. Literally, my phone don't, because of the community group as well now. Not saying I don't love the community group; it's brilliant, but my phone is pinging all the time, from about 7 a.m. till like midnight. Like this,
I mean, I have to have mine on mute because it's just it interrupts me, especially when I'm working.
Yeah.
I have to have mine on mute, and I check it quite often during the day. But there's some days where I can literally be that busy, and I'll literally get to my break. I'll start looking at my phone and think, oh my lord, how many messages? And it's just like I can't keep up sometimes. I try. I think everybody tries in that group.
I think we all sort of just go, sort of look briefly through it and try and see where it's going, and then we just sort of try and keep up with it. But so with regards to, obviously, so are you, so when it comes to coasters, are you like a massive coaster fan then as well?
Yeah, so I prefer coasters than anything else. I'm not a flat ride fan. I have to be quite. I wouldn't say I hate them, but flat rides aren't my favourite.
Right.
A lot of flat rides really do. For me, it's just pointless quite often.
Right.
I like things like Rush. Rush is probably one of my favourites.
You like Rush?
Park. I love Rush. Dan hates it.
Sam said that's the most scariest ride he's been on in Fort Park.
No,
I've never been on it, so I don't know. Because he said the lap bar is weird or something.
No, James. I'm not a big Spin Jam fan. No. Spin Jam is nicknamed as Vom Jam because I can't do Spin Jam. It really does make me feel queasy.
You love Spin Jam.
I've never been sick on a ride. I've never ever been sick, regardless of what kind of ride it is. But there's something about Spin Jam. I come off it and my head is literally spinning. I know that sounds like I'm taking the mick, but no, Spin Jam gives me a headache. It really does. It's awful.
Yeah, that's what Rachel said. Like, you love
no, Rachel, I did not love Spin Jam. You and Dan went on Spin Jam while I sat there and gassed to Wendy for about half an hour because you kept re-riding it. But no, and that was actually when I met James and Lindsay, Dan, and I can't remember who we were with that day. Actually, I think it was just me and Dan. And Dan just kept lapping Spin Jam. I remember me and James just looking at it, thinking, no, insane, crazy.
Yeah, because because the flat rides, I don't really get to the flat rides because the big rides take most of the time anyway. I find, you know, obviously by the time you've done the big rides, you've not really got much time left in the day. You know, unless you go to them first.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the parks don't really have that many flat rides. I think Thorpe's got sort of like the biggest sort of, in the Merlin sort of group, they've got the biggest range. I mean, Pleasure Beach has not really got that many either, apart from the kids ones. You've got obviously the classics. You've got Fire Machines. Then you've got Red Arrows. I think that's it off the top of my head. It is. And then the rest of the kids ones. There's not many sort of parks with a huge amount of flat rides. In this country, as a country, I don't think the UK do flat rides very well at all.
Right. No,
it's mainly I keep seeing it quite a lot in the chat as well. A lot of people are saying pirate ships. That seems to be sort of like a generic thing in sort of many UK parks. Just to stick a pirate ship wherever they can find space for a pirate ship. Obviously carousels, things like that. We don't seem to get many new sort of flat rides. Although I would say not so much the theme park, but it's quite laughable and sort of embarrassing for the theme parks when Butlins Skegness are actually introducing 4 new flat rides to their fairground, which have never been seen before in England. The UK, the brand new rides to the UK have never been seen. So if Butlins as a holiday park can do that, I don't know why a theme park can't. You know, their turnover is nowhere near as much as sort of Merlin is. But yeah, they're 4 brand new flat rides that they've never ever seen put my teeth in. Never ever been seen before in the UK. So it's just ridiculous that sort of Merlin don't seem to give two flying hoots about that, especially at Alton Towers. Apart from
it's obviously the what do you call it? The retro squad, isn't it?
Yeah. So you got the retro squad, which is sort of relatively newish. That all came in 2020, and they were introduced. There was supposed to be a temporary measure to aid with social distancing with the COVID rules. Whereas they added in some additional rides, it was hoped that they would ease the pressure on the main queues so that they could social distance better.
Yeah.
And I was told that once the final restrictions were lifted and we were back to normal, that they would go completely. A lot of them, I think the only one that I've ever seen of the retro squad that created ridiculous queues was Mixtape, which is where Spin Jam was. I think that's gone now as well.
Yeah.
And he was talking, some days Mixtape could be on up to 2-hour queues. But I think that was due to its loading, the fact that it was just ridiculously loaded. It was too complicated to load.
Right.
But the others, Spin Jam never seemed to get that much for a queue. Roller Disco, he was lucky if that ever got a 5-minute queue. And Funk and Fly, that for me, that might as well just go, because the amount of time it was down last year due to problems just wasn't worth it. It's the most uncomfortable one there as well, especially if you're a tall guy or a tall woman. It's just ridiculous on the knees. It really does hurt. It's more of a kid's ride, in my opinion. But there used to be a lot of flat rides at Alton Towers back in the day before Merlin took over. It seems to be Merlin that sort of destroyed the flat rides at Alton Towers. We used to have Bone Shaker, which was Energizer before that. We had Ugg Swinger, which then became Twirling Toadstool. I can't think of the name.
Ripsaw. Ripsaw,
yeah, we had Ripsaw. Dynamo, which used to be, I can't remember, Summit Dancer, I think it was before that. It's a very strange ride where Submission.
Submission, I remember Submission.
That was a really good ride. Not as comfortable for the men as the women, just the way the bar went down.
What's that?
Rach was asking me, what retired ride from Alton Towers would you bring back? That's a I don't know, actually. There's quite a few. There is quite a few, actually, to be quite honest. I mean, I would say the Black Hole, but I do love the Smiler. So if they brought the Black Hole back, the Black Hole would have to go back in another location, which is possible because it was a traveling roller coaster anyway. Again, James has said Toyland Tours. Yep, I did like Toyland Tours. Do remember Toyland Tours. I liked Submission, but I didn't like the uncomfortable part of Submission. And I think as well the Flume, as much as I do like Wickerman for its theming, I'm not a huge Wickerman ride fan. But then again, I don't like wooden roller coasters as a general whole. I find them extremely rough. I just don't like wooden coasters. But I would bring that the Flume simply because Alton Towers doesn't have a decent water ride.
It doesn't, does it? It doesn't have one, does it?
The Rapids is just, it may as well just be a lazy river. To be quite honest, I could probably safely go around that on a rubber ring, and not even in a Rapids box. It's just so slow.
I think they've toned it down, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So they toned it down after the incident with Drake. I think a lot of the parks did when the little girl, unfortunately, lost her life.
Lost her life in Drayton Manor, yeah.
Obviously, that reopened, I think it was last year or year before, but that had been closed and SBNO for about 6-7 years. That's how long the health and safety investigation took. But I think that's as a result of it. And obviously, there's no waterfalls anymore on the Rapids at Alton Towers. And I don't think they'll ever come back, as much as a certain somebody keeps saying they are. According to this certain person, they've been coming back for the last 3 years. Waterfalls are being turned on sometime in the next millennia. Yes, Sam.
Yeah, the
Paul.
waterfalls down the back, aren't they? They used to come down, didn't they? Because James, when he did that, that thing of 2009 of towers, and obviously the flume was still there.
Yeah.
And he took pit in his Congo River Rapids, and you could see the waterfalls on the side.
They did use to get you wet, and obviously because of the pressure, the current of the waterfalls, then obviously that would have increased the flow, the actual water as well. But I think half the time, I don't think it's anything to do with any sort of mechanical fault. I think it's because, it's quite obvious, the rapids water is relatively disgusting, which to me indicates that the pumps are clogged, or they just don't clean it, which could be the problem for the actual speed of the ride. Actually, I agree there, James. Remove it and put in intermittent blitz. I mean, to be quite honest, if you moved the Congo River Rapids and put in a kids roller coaster, it'd probably still be better than the Congo River Rapids. It is the worst rapids ride that we have. I mean, relatively, it is totally disgusting. Yeah. But the
the one at Thorpe's better, isn't it?
I prefer the one at Thorpe. I think the one at Thorpe's got a bit more theming on it.
That's called
Rumba Rapids.
Rumba Rapids, isn't it? Yeah.
But I had heard quite a while back that was a site that was earmarked for future development for a new roller coaster in the future. Whether or not it does happen, obviously, where the Rapids is, because it is a very big area.
It is,
a huge development in there. I just think, for me, the park has done quite a bit of what they used to call towers loving care. You know, sprucing the park up, painting here, there, and just making the park look a bit more presentable. I think, for me, Katanga Canyon is the least looked after area. It's it's very drab. I know it's supposed to be sort of like an African sort of Saharan theme. You know, it's supposed to look like it's, from a tribal perspective. It's not supposed to look modern, but there's just hardly any theming in there. And I think for even sort of the Runaway Mine Train sort of when it goes round in sort of the helix it goes round on towards the end near the tunnel of the rapids, that used to have quite a bit of theming in there, and it's still there, but it's just decaying. It's run down.
Yeah, James is saying they haven't changed it to 2009.
No, they haven't. No, that entire area is just very drab, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was saying to other people, I was saying that towers. One thing I do not like about, I don't know if anybody feels like this way, but UK theme parks, their theming is not good at all. Like, when ride theming, yes, but area theming, no. There's area theming all over the place.
Totally agree. We this country doesn't seem to do. So I've always said that the whole point of being called a theme park is theming. Which is why Black Pleasure Beach is not a theme park; it's an amusement park. So you don't go to Pleasure Beach and expect theming because it's an amusement park. Just exactly the same. I used to be a massive hater, and I still am in sort of any other season other than Halloween. I'm not the biggest fan of Fantasy Island. It just attracts the wrong kind of crowd,
right?
In my opinion. But the pyramid in there is just it is a perfect example of how something could be themed at other places.
Yeah.
If it's one thing that the Mellors group who own Fantasy Island now can do, it is theming, especially inside that pyramid. They've done a brilliant job with updating that. That was, when it first opened, it was something we'd never seen in the UK. And then with this came along, and over the years it did lose its appeal, but they've done a really good job with the interior. It's just, for me, Fantasy Island's got a lot of work to do with its ride availability. It's very, apart from Millennium and Odyssey, it's just it's a very random looking parks. You've got 2 permanent fixed roller coasters overlooking a market. Just a really bad, tacky market. And then it's just all fairground rides. It just doesn't. It's the most bizarre looking concept. And the market's always been there. The market's actually a lot smaller now than it used to be.
Right.
When they built more and more rides, the market has shrunk down in size over the years. Yes. So James has just actually said exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't going to say that. I wouldn't say that word on the live stream just in case. But yeah, it does. It does look like your typical kind of fun fair aesthetic that you'd expect from like a local fun fair that came to like your local playing fields. It just doesn't. It's not a theme park.
No.
And
look, Sam's saying the same. The market needs to go.
It does. I mean, the market used to be brilliant back in the day when I was younger. You could get a lot of stuff on the market. I mean, fair enough, a lot of it back then, it was all knockoff. You got a lot of fraud stuff. You got a lot of stolen goods being sold, but you could get some decent stuff on that market. And nowadays, it's all the same. You walk around, and every 1 or 2 stalls is either fake perfume, Egyptian cotton towels, or phone cases. And they're not cheap. It's a phone case that you could pick up on eBay for like £3. And they sell them on Ingamel's Market for like £15. It's not cheap, and it does attract some very, very
questionable people.
Yeah, questionable is the word. You can always spot somebody if you ever go on holiday or you go for like a few days to Skegness. You can always spot somebody that's been shopping around Ingamel's Market. Because the women who shop on Ingamel's Market, they all wear werewolf jumpers or polar bears. You can always spot someone that's been shopping at Ingamel's Market, or a Kelvin Klein tracksuit, or an Abbey Bass tracksuit, or a Mikey. You can always spot them. It also has piercing places. Yeah,
it had a lot. I mean, when I walked through there, I mean, it did take a while. It did take a while to get through there, but I do like the theming inside the pyramid. It is kind of out of this world. Like when you've got a lot in there, they've crammed a lot into that pyramid, and there's more. I think the pyramid in the middle is better than everything outside, apart from the 2 coasters. Everything else is just like mishmash and in the middle and stuff.
It is, and it just, for me, I once described the way that Fantasy Island looks as a 5-year-old being let loose on Roller Coaster Tycoon, and just dragged and dropped things from multiple parks, and just thought, oh yeah, that looks good there.
Yeah,
and it's just been saved midway through completion. It really just looks like a really poor Roller Coaster Tycoon creation.
That Sky, is it Skyflyer?
Starflyer.
That thing is, I'll tell you what, that is freaky scary.
We did.
Have you been on it?
Yeah. I enjoy them though, but we did. I think for me, the only reason why I didn't mind that is we did one of the tallest ones in the world in Orlando,
right?
Which was a lot taller than that one at Fantasy Island. It just didn't bother me. James has just pointed out that Starflyer has gone.
It's just because it's on the seafront, and the wind's blowing 100 miles an hour, and you're as high as Odyssey's lift hill. High as Odyssey's lift hill. You're looking over at Odyssey, and you're thinking, "Oh my god, I'm really high," because Odyssey's high up anyway.
It is. I mean, the only thing that I regret is not having a sort of chest-mounted camera back then, because that would have been some amazing views up there. Because we went on quite a hot, clear day as well, so it'd been a really good opportunity to record up there. But fortunately, we didn't have one at that point. We had the Starflyer, the tallest one here at Blackpool.
Yeah, that was in front of the Blackpool Tower. That
thing was massive. We saw that. We didn't do it. We didn't go to. Did we go? No, we didn't go to Blackpool last December because the Pleasure Beach was shut.
Well, really?
In November.
Is that really that high, Odyssey? 200 feet?
It is, yeah.
Whoa. So the Starflyer went 200 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why I was hanging on. That was scary. It was. I was on. There was no one next to me.
Darren's saying he wants to get to Fantasy Island. It's getting there. I don't believe Darren drives, as far as I remember.
Yeah, it's Fantasy Island is. I mean, Skegness is even for me, it's like 3 hours away. For me, Skegness, it's 3 hours because
we're 2 hours.
I live in Leamington, so I live in West Midlands, so
yeah,
it's like my local park is Drayton Manor. My local-ish park is closest to me.
I think all of them are for us. We've got we've got Drayton Manor, which is, I want to say, about 70 minutes, about an hour and 10 minutes. It is mainly motorway at Drayton Manor compared to some of the others. Like Alton Towers for us is quite a bit of it's motorway to start with, but then it's all country road, so it takes an hour and a half, which shouldn't really take that long. But because of the country roads, it takes an hour and a half. And then we've got Flamingo Land is about an hour and 25 minutes. And then Fantasy Island, we've got Skegness, which is 2 hours. But for me, Fantasy Island, if you've not been before,
it is worth going. I think, you know,
it's worth going, but don't have huge expectations. That's what I would say.
No. I mean, I think my next. Obviously, I need to go to Drayton. I've never been to Drayton, even though I live on top of it. But I need to go to Drayton and experience Shockwave before they take the standing seats away, the standing up coaster thing away. Before they change it all up there, because obviously the Looping Group are doing major work there at the minute. And also I need to get up to Flamingo Land as well.
See, Flamingo Land for us, because even though it's quite a local park, I'm not a huge fan of Flamingo Land.
All right.
To be quite honest, it's got very, very poor operations. Every time we've been, it's just been a shocking experience. And for the price you pay, it's just the park. I don't know whether it's changed as a result of sick opening, but the park itself is every time we've been is dirty. It's very dirty. It's very untidy. It's just rubbish absolutely everywhere, and it sort of attracts the same sort of clientele as Fantasy Island, which is quite surprising because it's not a cheap place. It's not like Fantasy Island where you can just walk around for free. It's very expensive, in my opinion, for what it is, Flamingo Land. Especially the fast track. The fast track there is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's like £50 and you get one ride on. I think it's four of the big rides.
Yeah.
Rachel has just asked about Oakwood. We did Oakwood last year for the first time.
That's Megaphobia's at Oakwood, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
But they're redoing Megaphobia at the minute, aren't they?
It needs it. It really does need.
I think they're in the middle of taking it apart. I think by the looks of pictures,
it needs completely demolishing and rebuilding. That one, that is really, really rough. I mean, Dan did it twice. I could only do it once because I just could not do it. It's not worth the trip, Darren, in my opinion. We went for the weekend. We booked caravan in Tenby, which was 25 minutes from Oakwood. So we were in the area, but I certainly wouldn't do a day trip. It took us 7.5 hours to get to Tenby.
Right.
So I wouldn't do it. It's been possible for us to do it in a day trip. Dan wouldn't be able to do 15-hour driving in one day. It was quite disappointing, to be fair. That was another park that it's very run down. It's very sort of there's not much appeal to it. The rides, apart from like Speed, which is again quite rough, considering it's quite a newish Gerstral, it's quite a rough coaster. And then the other ones are really old. So you got the treetop one, which had the incident, which was on the news last year.
Oh, really?
7.5 hours. 7.5 hours. Sam's asking to drive. No, it's a 7.5 hour drive to September for us. If you're counting a stop on the motorway, it's down for us.
Oakwood's on the other side, isn't it? It's on my side, isn't it?
It's South Wales.
South Wales, yeah.
Yeah,
it's closer for me to go to Awkward, I think.
Yeah, because you're further down south than we are.
Yeah.
Well, you're not that far down south. If you're in Leamington, that's not as far. It's sort of like you're actually not as far as like Rachel. We go down to Rachel's, or we go down to like Birmingham instead. We went to Birmingham yesterday. But Leamington's not as far as sort of like where Rachel is. Well,
she lives a lot further down.
But like for us, Oakwood was, it's the M1, M1, A42, M42, M5, M4, M40, I think it is, and then it's all country roads from then. So it is a long way. I mean, even for like the likes of Thorpe Park takes us a good 4 hours to get to, in good traffic. And that's quite an easy stretch. That's just literally M1 and M25.
Yeah.
Even that takes us 4 hours, and that's presuming there's no traffic.
All right. So she lives in South Staffordshire. So she lives near Towers then.
I think she's towards the other end. So I think she's about 40 minutes to Towers, if I remember rightly.
Right.
She lives in a bourgeois area.
Bourgeois, okay.
Yeah. It's like a private gated estate. So she's a bit of a
really?
Yeah, you need a blood donation to get into it.
All right, because obviously James lives near Towers as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve's not in, but he lives up that way. He lives near Blackpool, I think.
I think Steve lives in Preston. I think.
So does Sam. Sam lives near Towers as well, doesn't he? Not far from Towers. So yeah, 1 hour 5 minutes. Was that to Towers then, Rachel? 40. Oh, Darren lives 40 minutes from Thorpe and Chesington. Yeah. So so everybody's sort of in different places all over the country, aren't they? So what's your like top park you want to visit? Oh, have you visited any big parks then, like Europe ones and stuff?
So in Europe, we've only done. We did Portaventura last year. I did it as when I was younger.
Right.
Back when it was Universal Mediterranean, but it was owned by Universal. I did Portaventura then as well.
Right.
We did it last year as well. And we did Energylandia last year.
Oh wow!
And we did Disneyland Paris for the first time last month.
You went last month to Disneyland Paris?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
January. And then I've done all the parts in Orlando. We've done Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Fun Spot. In Orlando, we've not done anything else other than that. And then obviously you've got the UK parks. The only UK park, so the big UK park that we've not done, is Adventure Island.
Right.
That is literally the only one we've not done.
Adventure Island in Southend.
Yeah. It's quite a long way for us, that one. So it would need an overnight stay the night before.
The thing is with Adventure Island, it's only thing with Adventure Island is it's a lot of flat rides and there's a lot of kid rides there. There's only one big coaster there, and that's Rage.
Yeah.
There is a lot of flat rides there, spinning rides. There's one almost like Spin Jam, which is called Screecher. Because my nan lives around the corner from there, literally around the corner. So, but it's okay. It's a good park. It's on the seaside as well. So it's
just reading the chat. Lindsay's been a naughty girl.
Oh, wow, what's she done?
She's been speeding.
Speeding.
Naughty.
Oh dear.
Were you speeding in Carlins with Sammy? Were you speeding for McDonald's?
£671 fine and 6 points.
How much?
£671.
How fast were you going, Lindsay?
From Blackpool.
Jesus. You must have been going at some speed to get a £671 fine. God.
You sure that ain't £71 fine?
77.
76.
What? You're all going 77 with a speed limit change? With restricted speed? Because you're allowed 10% over anyway.
He was doing 120 and a 30, Sam's saying.
How much? Wow.
I think he's like, was they in the car together?
Oh, yeah, because she's going 70 and 50 variable zone.
Oh, right. Yeah, they can be. They can be funny.
Yeah,
especially up there.
I've seen the letter nearly had a heart attack. James says, "I bet you did, James."
Not my fault. I was asleep.
I mean, it could be worse. It could have been.
Oh yeah, because Darren was in the car too, wasn't he? Darren was in the car because Darren went up.
It could have been worse. It could have been Sam with that fine, and he wouldn't have been able to have McDonald's for a few months. He wouldn't have been very happy.
Yeah, because it is pretty. You know, the speed limits up at Blackpool do vary. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what road, what route do you go on, sort of like from down that end, Lindsay? So, is it the M6?
She must do, yeah. If it's coming from, because they live that side, don't they? So
we only do. I think when we go to Blackpool, I think we're only on the M6 for like one junction when it merges. For us, it's the it's M1, M62, M6, then it's M55. The M6 is lethal though. I must admit, when Dan had not been driving very long and we went to Birmingham, we didn't get a fine. We got a sort of like an advisory letter because we went in the odd shoulder, which was supposed to be an extra lane, but we had to get off. Yeah, because it was part of the exit. But we got a letter saying you shouldn't be in because it got a red X on, but we had to. There's no way we couldn't use it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Just near Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it comes off the M6 into the Birmingham. I can't remember what Rachel said what the road was yesterday. I can't remember what the name is now. She confirmed it yesterday. So we met her yesterday in Birmingham. But it's as you come off the M6 and it joins the sort of the inner ring road. But yeah, we all got an advisory letter. But the M6, I mean, I don't drive, but I hate the M6 as a passenger. It's just a very awkward motorway to use.
It's not good. It's not good.
That's it. Aston Expressway. That's the name.
Aston Expressway. Yeah. That's the A30, M30, M38. It goes straight into Birmingham from the M6.
It goes straight into Brum.
Off Spaghetti Junction.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a nightmare.
It is.
So what's your like favorite coaster in the UK?
In the UK, it's Icon.
Icon.
Yeah.
Everybody says Icon, don't they? I think.
Yeah.
At the minute, it's Icon, and until Exodus gets built, I guess.
Sam just asked me the most bizarre question. What is my favourite motorway services? What? just a minute, Sam. I'll just get my motorway services directory out at draw. Hang on. What question? I mean, favourite motorway services. I mean, it's certainly not. What's the one that we stop at quite often if we on the way home from Blackpool? It's it's disgusting. Birch service on the M62 is vile. It's proper dirty.
Yeah.
I like Toddington because they have a Marks and Spencers. Well, Rachel will be able to confirm which Marks and Spencer services have a Marks and Spencer because she's very much like me as well. She shops in Marks and Spencers like I do.
Yeah.
But if you ask Rachel that question, her favourite service will be one that has a Waitrose.
Right. She's saying M60 toll Norton cans. I know the one she's talking about. That one,
Oh, that one is nice. Yeah, on the M6 toll.
On the M6 toll road, yeah. Right, yeah, Waitrose.
Yes, Waitrose. I told you she's very bourgeois. She eats caviar and quail's eggs. None of this McDonald's we eat. It's all caviar and quail's eggs and champagne.
And so, what about in like in the world then, when it comes to coasters?
My number one at the minute is Shambhala.
Oh, at Fortaventura.
Yeah. I don't think anything on sort of the level of what we've got booked in this year will change that, to be quite honest. We're going to have Telling. I can't see Baron, although it looks brilliant. I can't see it being like a number one. We're going back to Energylandia.
Did you say you went to Energylandia?
Yeah, I went to Energylandia last May.
So did you not like Zadra?
No, hated it.
You didn't like Zadra?
It's the restraints. There's just no need for these the leg restraints. I know me and Sam were on about that the other day. The ride itself is really good, but for me it just puts me off the experience with the leg restraints, which is part of the RNC's just actual seats, but it's just very uncomfortable.
Right.
But yeah, went in May last year. We only did Energylandia, but this time we're going to do Legandia as well when we go in October, because we only went last year. We went for, I think it was 2 days, no, 3 nights. I think it was 3 nights, 2 days we ended up doing, but Dan wasn't very well anyway. He got he got an abscess in his mouth, so it wasn't very well. We'd planned to do Legandia the day we got there, but we had some major problems with the hire car. It nearly blew up in the airport, so it took us ages to get out of the airport. They had to swap the car because the car was smoking and steaming, and it was just ridiculous. So we didn't get a chance to do Legandia. So we're going to do Legandia this year. I've heard Lech Coaster is good. Again, don't think that's going to replace us as a number one. I've heard it's a good coaster, but I think the only possibility of having a number one replacement is probably when I go to Phantasialand in January.
Yeah, I mean that Phantasialand is like, I think in Europe, Phantasialand is my bucket. I think
it's been mine for a long time.
My bucket park and my bucket coasters. Well, there's two. There's obviously Taron and Fly.
Yeah, it's been one of our bucket lists for a long time, and then I booked.
We want to stay in that Charles Lindbergh hotel. That looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's not an amazing price though.
No. Yeah, but then you get a lot in with that money though.
You don't get anything.
You get like the meal of the night. You get 2 fast pass per person.
You don't get tickets though.
You do. Don't you not get entry tickets?
No, it's all separate.
Oh wow!
I looked for when we go next year. It's not on sale yet, but I looked at sort of the same week for this year as just a guide, and for the time that we're going, the Charles Lindbergh without the entry was €1,400.
Wow!
And for what we've paid, so we've booked. I've booked the flights so far, a hotel. Even when we put the car hire and the tickets, not going to cost us €1,400. About €1,400 about £1,350, something like that.
Wow!
Costing us nowhere near that. Nowhere near. Wow. And obviously Rachel's just putting Rachel's coming to Phantasialand with us as well. That's going to be another gaze on tour outing. Can't get rid of her. She's just absolutely everywhere. You just can't get rid of her. She knows I'm always joking. Sam just asked, what is your number one, Warren? Sorry if you've already said already. Number one at the minute is Shambhala.
Shambhala.
I don't think anything will replace it at the minute until I go to Phantasialand.
What is Shambhala? What train is it? Is it a Mac? Or
I think it's I'm not sure actually. I think it's a B&M.
Oh, okay.
Sure, it's B&M. I might be wrong. I might be Intamin. To be fair, I'm not quite 100% sure. If anyone does know, just confirm in chat because it'll rack my brain.
Oh, that was
Sam
funny.
says
That was funny.
when we looked to get tickets and within Charles,
You actually booked it. Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Oh dear. That's not good.
Lindsay says it's better than Mako or Mako, however you want to pronounce it. I say Mako.
Mako's in SeaWorld, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty similar. The Mako. Exactly the same sort of restraint as Mako. I prefer Shambhala, I think purely because it's a longer layout and it's a lot taller. I do like
a B&M Hyper. That's what Sam's saying. It's a B&M
Yeah, it's a B&M Hyper. Yeah.
So is it? So do you Mako? It looked like. Am I thinking of Mako that's got the? Or am I thinking the one that's in San Diego? The one where the looks like the fish is at the front of it. Is that Mako? Because it looked like it was like a hanging coaster, or is that a different one?
No, Mako's just like a general sort of train. I think that was one in SeaWorld San Diego that I don't know the name of it.
That's a flying coaster, isn't it? That one, I think.
No, that's it's Manta. Yeah, Manta. Manta's the flying one in Orlando. That's really good. That's better than Galactica. I mean, Galactica's just that's another subject. Galactica is just boring. Get rid of Galactica. Lindsay said, just to clarify, we didn't go. I went on the price to put the details in to get a price and an email confirmation that my booking with an invoice to pay 30 days before. I'm sure you were really happy about that, Lindsay. How much was your invoice?
I'm glad you got that and not the bill.
Yeah.
That's good.
Rachel's agreeing to ditch Galactica as well.
Yeah.
Walking with the Woods.
Same model as Chamois.
Walking with the Woods. What's your favourite thing to do in a busy queue line? I mean, it's a hard one for me to answer. I don't really generally tend to queue that much because we use wrap.
Right.
But sort of like in the past, I'll probably say scream, cry, moan. It's past watershed and bitch. When my husband thought it was hilarious to make me queue 3 hours for Slinky Dog Dash. On probably the hottest day we had while we were there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, we weren't too pleased when I got off that queuing 3 hours for a kids roller coaster.
Yeah, when that was just, I think not long been put in, just before we went out in 2019.
When did we? So we went in. I went on that in 2018. I think it was new in 2018.
Oh, was it? Right. Because I remember it being put in, and obviously then Galaxy's Edge got put in just after that.
Yeah,
and it was being built. I think they finished it literally in the summer, and we went out there in the November, and it was and I missed Rise of the Resistance by a day.
Oh,
by a day. I went on Smuggler's Run. That was amazing. I love Smuggler's Run. I like the thing where you've got to press all the buttons and stuff. That was you got to interact. Obviously, 6 of you in there. Sorry for the spoilers that anybody ain't being. But I love Star Wars. That whole area.
Oh, the area is probably just the best thing area in any theme park I've ever seen in my life. I'm not a Star Wars fan.
That Millennium Falcon was just huge. And I was just like, and everything was moving. You can get your phone now to control the droids and
it's
over there,
really immersive and really interactive. I must admit. James has asked a really good question for me actually, which is one that I do like to quite address quite often. What's the best and worst parks for people with disabilities? So in the UK, for me, the worst. There's 2 parks that stand out as the worst parks for people with disabilities. First, I mean, Fantasy Island, they offer no sort of ride assistance or anything like that, primarily because most of their rides are funfair rides. They haven't got the ability to sort of like put an access queue in or a ramp.
Mm.
So a lot of it is stairs, like little, metal staircases. So they offered nothing at all for disabilities. The other one is Flamingo Land. And again, although I don't like the park as a whole, Flamingo Land is very, very, what I would say is to be very anti-disability. So they have a ride access pass similar to what Merlin do, which, if it's done correctly, which I don't agree with anyway, because it's only the UK that follow this policy. Obviously, it's a virtual queue, and then they put the return time for you to go and have the next ride, which is generally it should be no more than the main queue line. We've had problems in the past where they tried to actually tell you that you can't go on a ride at towers for longer than the queue time. So I will stand there and I will happily argue the fact that we've already queued in the wrap queue 20 to 30 minutes because it's a long wrap queue, but the main queue is only 15 minutes. Technically speaking, they shouldn't be putting in any return time on the card other than the time that it is at that moment in time, just so it's been marked. But Flamingo Land, it's actually on the ride access pass in the bottom of the terms and conditions, which I think is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard, and it really does annoy me. So theirs is their queue time. The problem with Flamingo Land, if people that have been will know what I mean by this, is there is no queue time boards. So when you enter a ride, unlike Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Blackpool, that doesn't tell you what the queue time is.
Oh, really?
So you've no idea what the queue time is. They've got an app now, but as far as I'm aware, the app is not the most fantastic thing at all. But Flamingo Land, what they do is, so say the main queue. So the first ride we did when we went with the disabled was the disabled pass was Velocity, the motorbike roller coaster, and it was just as the park opened. So the queue was probably, I would say, no more than 15 minutes. It was a quiet day anyway, so it was in September, just after the kids went back to school. So it was a weekday. It was very quiet. So I was saying no more than 15 minutes, and the time that it put on was 40 minutes, and I was like, oh, that queue's not 40 minutes, surely. It was like, oh no. So the policy at Flamingo Land is the queue time plus a 30-minute disabled penalty. So you have, so they actually penalise you and tang you out even more because you're disabled.
No.
Yeah, it is the worst thing. It's disgusting. It really annoys me. And that's why I try to avoid Flamingo Land at all costs, even if it's quiet. I can queue in small queues. We did when we went to Flamingo Land. Not last year, the year before. We did go in some normal queues because it was quiet enough. But to be told, yeah, we understand, you've got to wait 30 minutes for your next ride, but then to be told you've got an extra 30 minutes or whatever on top of it because of a disabled penalty, it's just wrong. Yeah, that really does get me, Lindsay, as well, where the rat queue is longer than the main queue. Now, that is, I think, going to change dramatically. I think we're going to see that, especially at Pleasure Beach. This year, I think that's going to reduce a lot because Pleasure Beach are doing what Merlin have done. So you've got to go through Nimbus Access Card in order to qualify for their Easy Pass. Now, unlike Merlin, Pleasure Beach don't issue you with a wrap card that's valid for 3 years. You have to do it. So if you're visiting for the day at Pleasure Beach, you have to register your visit within 7 days to qualify. But you've got to have the access card to do it. Whereas Alton Towers, you could have a disability that's, say, temporary. They'll issue you that ride access pass that's valid for 3 years. So you've got it for full 3 years. Whereas Pleasure Beach won't do that. So you've got to register it every time you go. And I know a lot of people that have had the pass in the past that won't qualify for it now because they can't get an access card. I've got one, and I've had one. I had one before they came fashionable, so to speak. So everybody's got one now for theme parks, and I had one a long time before the theme park even introduced it. But I think a lot of the rap abuse, and it's not so much as even just the guests abusing rap. The staff abuse rap a lot as well.
So what if you don't mind me asking, what is I've heard, pardon my my not knowledge, but I've heard of rap before. People have been talking to me obviously about it, but
Yeah.
I've heard it in conversations. What exactly is it in
So
time?
it's the ride access pass, so it's to sort of help people that struggle with queuing, whether it be for physical or mental disabilities.
Right.
So, like I said, theoretically, it should just be that say the main queue, say the standby main line queue is 30 minutes. They should put a time on your card of 30 minutes so you could go on the next queue. So you can then roam around the park and say there's like a ride that's only got like a 5-minute queue. You just join the normal queue, or you're going to have some lunch. Or for me, I just go and take photos. That's what really helps me with the photos. If I've got like a virtual queue on a ride access pass, I'll then just go around and take photos.
Right.
But like I was saying earlier, that not even the staff, it comes across like they go a bit power mad. So they'll try and make out like the queue is like an hour. So and then they'll put like an hour on the virtual queue sheet, but it's not.
Really?
Like the queue could be like 5 minutes. It could be like walk on, and they'll just take it as like power mad. And sometimes they're quite abrupt with it. Like Ray HLC, when we've been in the past one times, they can get really, really like funny with it. And it's like they almost think that it's something that they need to challenge you over. You've got the pass. It's not. It's none of their business. They're only there to market, kind of thing. But yeah, they do get really annoyed with it. But on the other side of the scale, in terms of the best parks for disabilities, in the UK, I don't think there is really many that do disability access as well as sort of like overseas.
Yeah.
Merlin is quite sort of generic. It's the virtual queue times, apart from Chessington and Legoland, which is all digital.
Yeah.
So there's literally all digital. It's on a website, and unfortunately, if the queue is 2 hours, then you can't ride another ride for 2 hours regardless. There's no way around that. Nobody's marking a physical card with a pen. So there's literally no way around that. I would say that the sort of the best experiences we've had in the UK with ride access and disability is West Midlands Safari Park. They don't do any sort of like restrictions on disability riders, so you can literally just walk onto the ride, and they'll let you on whenever they can. But then you can go on the ride straight after. So they don't mark anything. They don't virtual queue you. It is literally just like an unlimited fast track, so to speak.
Right.
And then sort of as much as the theme park isn't the best, Breen theme park in Somerset, they do the same thing. There's no time restriction or anything like that. It's literally just you wait at the exit and they'll board you whenever they can. Drayton Manor's theirs is a bit of a strange policy as well. So instead of doing like a time of like 30 minutes or whatever the queue line is for your next ride, with theirs, it is a piece of paper that they give you, and then the ride operator hole punches the piece of paper, and there's 10 slots. Once you've ridden 10 slots as a disabled guest, you've then got to go in the normal queue. You can't then have another card. It's just 10 rides in the disabled queue, and that's it. At Drayton Manor. Polton's is very similar. Their ride access is one ride of each throughout the day, and then after that it's the normal queue. But to be fair, whenever I've been to Polton's, because I generally tend to go out of season weekdays, it's been absolutely dead. I think we ended up doing last time we went. I think we did Storm Chaser like 20 times in a day, and Cobra like 30 times. It was just so quiet. They just let us stay on, and we just kept going round and round. There was just we didn't even have to get off most of the times. It was just dead. And I think from what I've been told, Polton's is like that even in like the height of summer, because their operations are really quick and they've got such a big throughput. It never tends to get that busy that you feel it. It will feel busy walking around, but from what I've heard, the queue lines are never that busy anyway. sort of abroad with the ride access, Disney World is virtual queuing. Theirs is quite restrictive. So you can only ride, you basically get a return time based on the main queue time, but you can only reserve one at a time. And then you've got to use the main queue. I don't know whether it's changed since they did away with the free fast track. But also you could sort of like intermix it with your free fast tracks a day. Disneyland Paris offer two disabled access levels.
Right.
One is very similar to what Alton Towers is, where it's a virtual queue and then you get a return time. And then one is pretty much like an unlimited fast track, which is one that I got. And you just go to the exit, you show them the little card with your photo on that gets issued by the hotel or the guest services, and it's literally you just go on as many times as you want. There's no restrictions on that one. But they do it in the sense that they assess your disability,
Right.
and depending on what your disability is, depends on whether or not they'll give you the immediate access, or the restricted access where you have to join a virtual queue. I got the restricted access, which was brilliant because we didn't queue at all for anything in Disneyland Paris whatsoever. We literally managed everything that was open that was there. We did everything that was open multiple times. And the same with Port of Ventura, that was literally just unlimited access. There was no time restriction or anything like that. I have heard a lot of really bad stories about Fantasyland, which is true. So I have read into the website. They don't issue disability access unless you've got a good understanding of the German language, because they don't like to translate into English. The staff don't translate for you. So I'm going to try and learn what I need to learn to get the disability access before I go.
All right. Oh, so you have to talk to the staff at the box office, or to get that part
in German.
In German, well, yeah. I mean,
But
German.
they are very. They've got a very backward stance. They are very anti-disabled.
Are they really?
For physical disabilities, yeah, it's actually in the terms and conditions of entry that people with physical disabilities or people that are bound to a wheelchair are forbidden from entering. They do not let anybody in with a wheelchair. It's actually against the terms and conditions.
Whoa,
it's very anti-disabled.
That's not good, is it?
But I think it is literally because the part when I've seen like photos of when it's busy, you literally cannot see the ground. People are literally that close together. It wouldn't be safe for a wheelchair to go in. They wouldn't be able to navigate around.
Yeah. There's a lot of steps there as well, isn't there? There's a lot. Cookheim's all got steps, and they don't look like there's any ramps anywhere. You know, it's all like up and down, like, you know, like a lot of the, like in Africa, there's lots of steps there as well. I've seen, and I know Rookbog's mostly on one level, but obviously apart from when you're going into the thing, but they don't look like there's any sort of accessibility in there at all. You know, like
no, there isn't.
You look at things.
From what I've seen, it's the same with Energyland. So Energyland has a very strange policy for the disabled, for disabilities as well. So they have no ride access pass with no assistance for disabled people. And when we bought our tickets, you have to sign a waiver for the carer ticket. So the carer ticket is slightly cheaper. No, so it's the disabled person's ticket is slightly cheaper. I think it was. They don't do carers unless you're part of like a care group,
right?
But you have to like sign a waiver to say that you won't like sue them for any issues as a disabled person.
Right.
Which I'm not physically disabled, so it didn't bother me signing it. I've just seen what the Three Mouseketeers have just put about the disability access register for Disneyland Paris has to be applied for in advance before traveling to the park. And you need to provide documentation from the Department of Work and Pensions. You do have to apply for it in advance. The evidence.
Becky's in a wheelchair, isn't she?
Yeah, the evidence you have to supply is not just the Department for Work and Pensions. They do actually accept the Nimbus Access card as well. So it does differ from each country, but in the UK, it's you can have documentation from the DWP. They don't accept doctors' letters, which I totally agree with. I don't agree that a doctor's letter should be suffice because they can be easily forged. I know a lot of people, I'm not going to mention names, but there's a lot of people that I know personally that have in the past, and that's the reason why Alton Towers and Merlin has changed theirs as fake doctor's letters and paid somebody they know to write them a fake doctor's note to get the right access pass.
Jump, so they can get right access to get on to jump the queues in Alton Towers.
Yeah. And now it's all verified. So the reason for Nimbus is they are an independent company. So any documentation you send them as your evidence of your disability, they verify. So you agree to the terms and conditions that they can contact the medical professional. So if you send the fake doctor's letter, they know they're not going to be able to contact this doctor because they're fake. So that they do properly assess your disability in order to give you this card.
Right.
Don't think no. I thought I had
so Nimbus. So is Nimbus like? Is that like seen like certified across the world, or is it just in
there's many places that do accept it? So I managed to use it for Disneyland Paris. I use it for Portaventura. They accept it. So on their website there is like a list of worldwide countries that accept it. And in terms of like theme parks, from what I'm aware, Portaventura, Disneyland Paris, Europa Park, Efteling, so I've used it for that as well.
Yeah.
Disney World, they accept that. In fact, no, so Disney World. So Disney World is an access for all park. So they don't actually ask for any proof of any disabilities. Same for Universal Orlando as well. So I'm not telling people to literally just go in and say you're disabled. Because that obviously isn't fair on people that do genuinely need ride access.
Yeah.
But they don't actually ask for proof at all. In Disney World or Universal. And to be quite honest, compared, even though the UK parks are big, they're nowhere near as big as Universal and Disney World.
No.
And I've never actually seen huge disabled queues at sort of Universal, SeaWorld, anything like that. Not even at Disneyland Paris, where, like I said, it was like unrestricted access. But because of the issues that Merlin's had with obviously fake doctor's notes and people faking blue badges and getting ride access cards, so like a temporary disability, like I know someone that got a ride access card because they'd fractured their wrist.
Oh wow!
The fracture was repaired in about 3 months, but they get the ride access card for 3 years. They don't need it.
Yeah,
it's a temporary disability, and that's what this is what they're doing now. So these Nimbus cards, as a general rule, are valid for 3 years. But if Nimbus feel that the disability is temporary, it'll be valid for a month.
Right.
Free masses, but we've always struggled at Walt Disney World with getting the DAS pass. They're extremely strict because they class it as access for all. It's because of people taking advantage. It is, and the DAS at Disney World, as much as it's really useful, and it's useful for any park to do disability access, I find that the Walt Disney World one is the most restrictive of all the foreign parks that do offer a disability access pass, because it does only let you have one, and it is virtual. So we used it at Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom for Flight of Passage.
Yes.
And it was 7 hours. So the queue was 7 hours long. So we although we didn't physically queue 7 hours, it was a virtual queue. So we managed to go around the park and do the other rides. Luckily, that was when Fast Pass was still a thing. It wasn't Genie. Yeah, so it was the old Fast Pass system. So we managed to use 3, and then managed to get individual ones straight after that. So we managed to do all the rides, and then by the time it came through with Flight of Passage, that was it. So that was the only ride we got out of the disabled system all day.
Wow!
Because it's not one per park. It's literally one DAS registration per day. Per day until it's used. Then after that DAS has expired and you've scanned your magic band at the entrance, you can then book another one. But it's very complicated to use as well, because you can't physically just like go on the app and reserve it. You've got to go to a cast member. They scan your magic band, and then they'll put the the DAS reservation on your Magic Band. It's not straightforward. It's not easy, you know. And
Wow.
without
That sounds a
you know,
bit.
I don't want to sound rude or mention any sort of specific disabilities, but I would dread to think that somebody who was independent but not as say technologically minded as what I am, I would dread to think how they would do it. You know, if they're not technologically minded and they're not of 100% sound mind, it's not an easy process. And, you
No.
know, if people struggle to talk to people as well, you know, you've got to physically go up to somebody and ask them for a reservation. It's not the most easiest of systems.
No.
It's not the most
That don't
friendly ways
sound.
to
That
do it.
don't sound. I mean, even that don't sound very. You know.
It's not very Disney to me.
No. That don't. That sort of takes the shine away from Disney a little bit. You know.
Especially when like Disneyland Paris is done before you go, and it's I get that they want an access for, you know, an open access for all policy. It makes it easier for them, and you know it stops individuals from being penalised. You know, because not every disability does warrant ride access pass. You know, there's plenty of examples. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to sit here and say what I don't feel warrants to have a ride access pass.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I don't portray to be one, but there is many things that I've heard people getting ride access pass for in the past that I just think that's just ridiculous. There's no reason why you should have ride access pass for that reason. That doesn't stop you from queuing. You know, I get that Disney want it right. You know, that makes it easier for them because they've not got to do the legwork of you know, approving somebody access at Disney World because it's so big. I think it'd just be too complicated for them to manage. But no, I do agree with the Three Musketeers. It is difficult with the DAS pass. We've never had a problem obtaining DAS and getting it linked to the Magic Bands, but I don't like the system.
It should be like as you described it. You should be able to just book it. You know, obviously it should take in the time of the queue line, I guess, in it. But you should be able to book it through the app.
You should, yeah. If
and
you've
then
been
you should be able
approved
to
for
access it on your Magic Band,
yeah,
like without actually speaking to a cast member. Because if you physically couldn't talk to a cast member,
yeah,
you know, then how do you get them to do it?
exactly.
You can't. You know, what happens if you couldn't speak?
Exactly,
or, you know, they don't all sign, do they?
No.
So
no.
you know, there's got to be, you know, a level playing field. I understand Disney, obviously, they're a big company, and you know, but I would thought that they would be on the far front to do with, you know, accessibility. I think they would be on the top when it comes to things like that, because the states are always well up on that sort of business, and especially Disney as anything. I mean, you know, what was Universal like? What was Universal like? What's their
So Universal actually is one of my. It's actually one of the preferred ones, and I like the idea of it. So it's very similar to sort of the one at Alton Towers and Blackpool, where it's literally the case of you get a return time. So you go to a ride, then they mark the card based on the queue time. But one thing that Universal does good that's other parks could really benefit from, and it would stop a lot of arguments with incorrect times being put on the return times, is their policy is if the main queue is 25 minutes or less, they don't put a return time on. So it's only if the main queue is 25 minutes or more that they actually put you a virtual queue time on. Otherwise, you just go straight on.
Really?
And a lot of the time when we were there, apart from sort of like, so that was if we didn't have Universal ride access, there is no way that we would have been that I would have been able to get on Hagrid's, because it was new that year. Sorry, the previous year, it opened in 2019, didn't it?
2019, yeah.
So it was relatively new when we went, and the queues were horrendous.
They were.
But we managed to get it, and to be quite honest, they were really, really lenient with the access as well. I mean, it did help. I mean, I was the one that had the ride access, but my mum went. My mum had a mobility scooter with her. So I think they sort of favoured it because my mum had a mobility scooter, but we managed to get on Hagrid's. I think the queue was really, it was like 4 hours. But they only put like 25 minutes on the return sheet, so it was really, really lucky.
Oh wow! Oh, did they? Oh, that's all right.
They were a lot more lenient with Universal. I don't think we ever got massive sort of return times with that one. It was a lot easier, and it wasn't like Alton Towers, for example. Like if you go to Alton Towers for multiple days, you've got to have multiple ride sheets each day you go. With Universal, they give you one. It's like a massive fold-out piece of card that folds out about this big, with enough space to last you a full week. Does RAP apply to, RAP applies to mental disabilities as well as physical disabilities in most places. But like I said, Merlin are teaming with Nimbus and Blackpool was, and it'll be down to Nimbus to decide whether or not you should qualify for it.
So you got to basically apply to Nimbus, and they will sort of assess you as such and say what sort of disability you have, and you've got to prove that by obviously them contacting doctors and everything
so
else
basically
like that. And then you've got to prove
mine.
that
So I sent my letter from my psychiatrist and all my documentation, and then you fill out like questions as well. So you fill in the questions as to what you feel, why you need what you're applying for, and then if Nimbus don't feel that obviously what you've put is relevant to your disability, that's when they'll contact you. I've had a Nimbus for, I think I've renewed it. So I've renewed it twice now. No, twice or 3 times. I think twice. So I've had it 6 years. I've had a Nimbus card for 6 years, and they've never questioned mine because it's quite straightforward mine. So, but yeah, it does cover mental disabilities, physical disabilities, but it cover what RAP used to be like is you could use a letter from the Department of Work and Pensions, you could use a doctor's letter, which can easily be faked, or you could use the Nimbus Access. And to avoid the RAP abuse, they've took everything out, and it's literally through Nimbus only. Because there was people getting it for ridiculous reasons. I don't want to come across as rude by what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it. And this is not a lie. We was literally in the queue once for Galactica in the RAP queue, which is the worst RAP queue of all, because Galactica is always going down. And I kid you not, we actually, this woman was arguing with the ride host because she had been told she could get RAP, and I kid you not, she told the ride host that she could get RAP simply because she was Muslim.
Wow.
And he didn't know where to put his face. He was like, "I'm really sorry, but that is not a disability. That's a religion." And she was like, "No, it's a disability. I can't queue in the main queue line because I'll be near Mensch." And it just turned around, and we were stood behind the woman. And he pointed, just went, and he went, "Well, what do you think these two people are here? These are men." So they were literally trying to think of any excuse possible to get it.
Right.
And the worst part of it is when it's Travelers Day, because the staff won't say anything because they're too scared to say anything. And I don't blame them. I really don't blame them, because I wouldn't want to tackle a group of 16-year-old, 30 or 16-year-old Irish travellers. I wouldn't want to challenge them either. But no. they've got on rides with like ASDA receipts, and we've seen them just show them an ASDA receipt, and they've let them on.
Wow.
They don't want to challenge them, but that's not the staff's fault. That's the park's fault for not doing the job right with security, in my opinion. But this ride access abuse should literally be stopped with this Nimbus.
So Nimbus is like permanent now. And you have to have a Nimbus card to be able to have a RAP get a RAP card.
Yeah.
So the RAP cards, are they like, I think I've seen them when I've been queuing. So they like, they've got like, do they go up and they have to sign them?
They do, yeah. So you have like a ride access pass, which is like a mail, and it looks like an annual pass. And it's got your picture on it. And then at Thorpe and Alton Towers, you get like a paper booklet, which is where they put the times on. At Chessington and Legoland, it's done by a website. It's all virtual.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should stop this the issues that it's faced over many years, because it's changed a lot. I mean, I've had it probably since I was about 12. I've had ride access passes since about 12, and it's changed a lot. Towers never used to do timings either. That's because of the constant abuse that it's getting, and people that are getting it that don't need it, and then people that that'll advertise freely online that they get wrap, and they're getting all their crew and their boys to come down to Thorpe Park and use their wrap, which is not right. And it's you see like a group of five lads who'll go to Thorpe Park, and each and every one of them's got wrap, and they're all getting the wrap card. So literally, they're at an advantage because they've all got the same wrap card, and they can Whereas, like for me, if there's me, Dan, Rachel, and her partner Wendy, that's 4 of us. There's only 4 people allowed with wrap anyway. But then you've got like a group of 4 lads, so they can go on 4 rides, get 4 different return times, and they'll never ever not have a ride time. So they'll literally just be lapping the rides all day.
Right.
But
yeah,
there's me. I can't do that. I've got 1 wrap card. It's not. There's a lot of abuse, and they are trying to stop it. Thorpe will now only issue 1 wrap card per group. So even if there's 4 people that are entitled to wrap, you'll only get 1 timesheet per group now.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, at least they're starting to crack down on people abusing it as such.
They are, and it is annoying, obviously, that things are happening, and a lot of people get really annoyed with it. But for me, it needs to get worse for it to get better.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that it will get worse, and it will seem like it's getting worse, and people will start to feel a bit peeved with it. But it needs to get worse.
Yeah.
Or it's never going to get better.
Yeah, so they obviously need to sort of like to get much better, worse, as you said, before it gets better.
Yeah,
I totally understand that one. Yeah. So what we've got, I was just trying to see if has anybody else got any other questions for Warren at all, or there's still some people in here, so I don't know if anybody else.
Who's in. I've not got YouTube up. I've just got the chat up. I don't know who's actually in.
So we've still got Musketeers. I think there's still Coastal Chicken. I think I've got 8 people, but I'm not sure who it is. So I think Sam may still be there, but that was a while ago. Obviously Rachel.
What's your favourite photo you've ever taken? Ooh.
That's Sam, isn't it?
I don't. That's a hard one.
I was saying to you about that one with Wicker Man. That's a pretty good fit.
Yeah, I think probably the Wicker Man, where I was actually allowed to stand on the track. That's probably a really good achievement one. So yeah, I'll probably say that one. Rachel says, for the record, I'm not. I think she means bourgeois. She's put bodgage. Yeah. I don't eat quail's eggs.
Quail's eggs.
She might not eat quail's eggs, but she's bourgeois. She's very bourgeois. She's very.
What's your favourite
edit you've ever done?
Edit, yeah. You're talking about photo edit there.
Yeah, that's that again. That's an hard one because there's a lot of them that really do well.
Take time. Obviously, Sam can say that as well. Obviously,
I think it's probably the Galactica one with the solar system behind it. That one itself does look probably the best sort of aesthetically.
Yeah.
And then the Tower of Terror one, I've actually got. I think I printed that one out the other day. Actually, yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one because that's one's in your picture behind me as well here because you've actually got a video of it as well.
Yeah, I use that for the one of the thumbs on the.
That is pretty
on
cool.
The short. What's your favourite coaster poultry? Oh, for God's sake!
What's he talking about?
So Lindsay's basically asking which do I prefer, the chicken or the hen?
Oh right, okay,
Don't
right,
make me
right.
choose. No, I can't choose that. Can't choose that.
No, that's
I've,
too
I've just
hard.
actually thought as well, Lindsay. Should your username not be Coaster Quan?
Coastal corn.
Well, she's a vegetarian, isn't she?
Oh right, yeah. True.
Pick one, Jess or Dale.
That's the coaster capturers, isn't it?
Again,
But you can't pick either of them either, can you?
why make me choose that? I mean, obviously, for obvious reasons, I'm going to choose Dale for some reasons and Jess for others.
Right, yeah. There could also be coaster pigeons out there.
Incredible fella or detective horse. Who are they?
Incredible fella must be Incredible Hulk, right? But I don't know who Detective Horse is. He's talking about Thingy isn't he? Avengers, isn't he?
I'm assuming so.
What's your fault in the flying coaster hero? I remember when you went on that, you didn't like that, did you?
I don't mind Hero. Hero's not that bad.
That's the one at Flamingo Land, isn't it? Where you like it's like Galactica, but you're in a cage.
I don't mind it. I know a lot of people don't. I think it's Sam that doesn't like it. I know James loves it. It's one of James's favourites. But I don't mind it.
Ride ever.
What's your favourite SATC character? What's SACT?
God knows.
Can you comment back?
What's your camera? What camera do you use? You use a mirrorless, don't you?
No, mine's a Canon EOS 4000D. Don't have mirrorless.
Oh right, because obviously Sam uses mirrorless for work, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sam uses mirrorless. I ain't got a mirrorless one, unfortunately. I don't have the cash for that. Oh, favorite Sex and the City character. What's her name? Oh, bloody hell. What's her name? Hang on. Is it Samantha?
It's Samantha. You're talking about Thingy Bobbies.
I'm gonna have to have a look now because I know who it is.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
No, the other one. What's her name? Bloody Nora. Yeah, Samantha Jones. Yeah, Kim Cattrall. I think she's my favorite because she's very much like me.
Oh, right.
She is my spirit woman. Favorite Rocky Horror character? Well, that's got to be Sweet Transvestite.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie? Favorite movie of all time is The Wizard of Oz.
I think you said that before, actually, haven't you?
Yeah. What's your Mackey's order? Depends what mood I'm in. It generally is 20 nuggets, large fries, and just to counteract all them calories, a Coke Zero. Or it might be a wrap. But if I have a wrap, I've got to have a cheeseburger as well because it's just not filling enough. What price would you pay for used knickers?
that's
for God's sake, Lindsay.
That's Lindsay.
But it depends, in fairness, whose knickers they are. If they're celebrities, then obviously the price is going to be high. But personally, I wouldn't buy used knickers. I think that's more Rachel's cup of tea, buying used knickers.
Which is better, TOT in?
Ooh,
TOT in where? Disneyland or
Walt Disney World?
What's he talking about? Tara.
Yeah. So
I
like them both.
Yeah,
both real good rides.
I've been on both of them as well.
I think aesthetically, from the exterior, Disneyland Paris looks better.
It does.
But the ride system...
It's where it is, isn't it? Because Tara in Disney World, in the studios, is like round the back near... it's on top of the hill, but it's by the side of the Aerosmith roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah. I like them both, but I think in terms of ride system, The one in Florida is much better. It lasts a lot longer, and the fact that the actual elevator shaft moves along, that's better.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because the one in Florida, the one in Disneyland Paris doesn't do that, does it?
No, I didn't know that didn't do that, and I thought it was just broke. But then when I read into it, it didn't do it, and I was quite surprised actually. Favorite person in this chat? I'm not going to answer that one. I'm not going to answer that one. I don't want to mob on my back. When you're old and past it, like Wendy, are you still going to be visiting theme parks? Rachel, if Wendy's watching now, she's going to slap you. She really is going to slap you. I mean, Wendy still visits theme parks now, but she's not far off needing a mobility scooter, bless her. She's old. She's like, I think she's 70 next month. She's really old.
Right. Well, my nan's coming to us. My nan's coming to us to. We're going to Disneyland Paris in March, and my nan's coming with us.
Oh, that's all right.
And she's 85.
Oh. my nan wouldn't do anything like that. She was when she was younger, but you won't get anything like that these days.
I don't know if she's going to go on all the rides, but she's definitely going to Disney just to see it. So she's never been to Paris before. So
worst film you've ever seen?
Worst film you've ever seen?
Ooh. Oh God. I've seen some absolute poop films in my time. I would probably say the film that I was looking forward to, one of the most, and I found it the most stupidest bloody thing ever, was Sausage Party. That is just deranged. Watching a hot dog have sex with a hamburger was just the most deranged thing I'd ever seen in my entire life.
So they're saying no. My nan won't go on the Tower of Terror because she don't like drop towers.
Trying to see
what ride with my nan? She's going to go on sort of things like she said to me that she's going to go on. She won't go on Space Mountain, but she's going to go on things like Big Thunder Mountain. She's going to go on all the sort of dark rides, Pirates of the Caribbean, all that sort of stuff. She said she'll go on a roller coaster as long as you don't go upside down, which is most of the coasters there, to be honest.
So that's Crush and Big Thunder Mountain and the one that was shut when I went, the little kiddie one. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. But she'll go on all the dark rides as well, like all the Peter Pans and the, all that.
What's
sort of
my
stuff.
favourite dark ride?
Junior Casey Junior. I forgot Casey Junior. That's it, Casey Junior.
That's it.
That's a wicked coaster. That is. I like that.
My favourite dark ride would probably be Rise of the Resistance.
Everybody's saying that. Everybody's saying that's supposed to be excellent.
So it's probably the most immersive dark ride I've done. Prior to that, it was the Great Movie Ride, and I do miss the Great Movie Ride. It was so good.
But have you not been to F-Telling?
No, not yet.
You haven't. So we got what's it called?
Symbolica.
That's supposed to be incredible.
Yeah.
For like
it's trackless as well, yeah.
3 different tracks as well, isn't it? Like 3 different routes, and the theming in that place is supposed to be unreal.
Warren's looking forward to Alton Manor. No, I'm not.
You don't want to go. You don't looking forward to Alton Manor.
No, I've got no high hopes for that whatsoever.
They're not going to change much in the time that they've had, have they?
No, Merlin just do not have a great track record with dark rides. And there's a lot of people in the community that are getting really excited over it. And with the greatest of respect, if these people go on opening day and say that it's crap, I'm just going to laugh because I've had that expectation ever since it was announced. Merlin, take Grants to Granny for the last example, and it's just cardboard cutouts from Poundland the ride.
Right.
There's nothing. It's just cardboard cutouts. It's pathetic.
Right.
Who's your favorite Avenger? I don't watch Avengers, James. I'm not a Marvel or that kind of thing fan. don't interest me at all. That's more a question for Rachel. She's a Avengers kind of person. I'm not. Bores me. Have you not seen 60-minute makeover? That's a random question, Sam. I'm
What's this talking
confused
about
where that's come
60-minute
from.
makeover? Well, that's that for.
I'm really confused, actually.
Yeah. I don't know what he means by that one.
What else do you do outside of theme parks and theatres? Can't really say, to be quite honest, Sam. Have you seen changing rooms? Yeah, I am old enough to remember changing rooms with Carol Smiley. Yeah. I'm loving your rose gold background, by the way. Oh yeah.
The one behind your head.
It's actually real. It's not a picture either. It's actually real Rachel. It's from my photography studio stuff. Just at a weird angle because it's a bit top heavy. I didn't put feet on right, and this floor's uneven. But yeah, it is real. Look. Do you play games?
Is he talking about computer games?
Rest in peace. Carol Smiley's not dead, is she?
What?
Sam's put rest in peace, Carol Smiley. When did Carol Smiley die?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm looking myself now.
I'm not to look. I did not realise that Carol Smiley was dead. She's not dead.
What? She's been around for a long time, but she's not dead. No,
she's 61 years old. She's still alive.
Changing rooms. Yeah, she's changing rooms, isn't she?
Yeah.
She was born in 61.
Lindsay Grinder. Well, yeah, I do have a browse on Grinder now and again. It's how I met Sam. Did you not know? Did you know the blade is haunted by the ghost of a cleaner called Freddy? If you listen really carefully at the end, you'll hear him.
What? What's he talking about? The blade.
The blade.
The blade at
Alton Towers. I'm assuming.
Alton Towers. Yeah. Well, that's used to be where Thunderlooper used to be. It's in that trail where Thunderlooper used to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Along there.
Can we see some of your theme park merch?
You should show him your pin stuff.
I mean, it's got a fat ass, Sam. But put in the comments what you want to see because I'll have to grab it. So I'm not. I've got a couple of things here that I picked out earlier. Some older stuff that I've got.
That's a Valhalla bus.
And then 100 Years of Blackpool Pleasure Beach film that lights. Hang on.
Yeah, it's reflected off it.
And then
I'll see that just. It's reflecting off the light, isn't it?
It's a big one coin, but you can't really see. To be quite honest, it's reflecting off the light.
Yeah.
Can we see your pins? I mean, there's too many pins, and they're all on the wall. I've got a couple in front of me. Let me see if I can. Hang on. I don't really want to move the camera angles. It took me absolutely ages to get it, but you can sort of see the pins there.
Oh, wow, yeah. I like your icon poster. That's massive.
That's the actual original plans.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, someone was selling it on eBay. I managed to get it off eBay. But yeah, that's the original art designs. What's what they call artist impression.
Yeah. I see all the pins. You put them up on the thing before, haven't you? On the
I put them in the chat before. Yeah. But yeah, anything merch you want to see, you just have to tell, because it's literally like in different places. So we'll literally have to move and obtain what you want to see at.
They've said, do you collect mugs from the parks?
I do collect mugs. I will go and grab a couple of different ones because they're on the shelf. Unfortunately, the room should be the other way around, meant to be easier, but there's no at that side of the room. There's always one plug, which where the TV's plugged in. There's no other plugs in this room,
right?
Apart from where the PC is. So I can't. I'd love to move it round, but it's just ridiculous the amount of plugs that I haven't got. Right, I'll grab. Like, I can't really. The camera won't stretch that far because the mugs are like over this side. But I'll grab like one or two. Like different, sort of like older ones, probably collector ones that I've got from over the years. I'll grab a couple. I'll pop these back, and you just have to look at this like screen. Just, don't laugh and look at my fat ass. That way instead. That's easier.
Oh, thanks everybody for staying on and watching this long. So I know it's quite late on a Friday, but obviously thank you so much for listening and being with us today. My favorite. Oh, Warren's back now.
I'm back. So I got this one.
What's that one?
The corkscrew.
Oh, that's Alton Towers. Wow, that is old then. Them signs on that cut is proper old.
I managed to get that one off somebody off eBay who clearly didn't have a clue what things were worth, because that only cost me £2.50.
Well, that's nothing compared to like mugs now. Mugs now
exactly.
are like £5 plus now, aren't they?
Oh yeah, easy. I've got a really old Epcot.
I am. Sorry, M's just jumping in and out, so I was just saying hello to M.
Well, it was actually Epcot Centre, so that's quite an
old
old
one. That's the original Epcot Centre. Wow, that is really.
It's all glitter as well. It's really shining, shimmery actually.
Oh wow!
I can't really see it much.
I remember that. I remember that logo from when I went, because the first time I've only been to Disney World twice, and the first time I went was 1994. The last time I went was 2019. So 1994 was the first time I went, and there was like near enough nothing.
No, there wasn't. Not in Epcot anyway.
Bubbleworks. Oh my God, Chessington. Oh wow.
That's just like some of the older ones that I've got.
That's very old. That's very old. I Walking in the Woods, so they're still here.
Let me pop these back.
Walking in the Woods is here. So I'm going to try and get Walking in the Woods. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to try and get on your Jody and I. We like 80s music, so we are going to try and jump into your thing, your quiz tomorrow night. And then it's supposed to be amazing.
This, I can't even lift it because it's so heavy. This is my American map folder. Oh God Almighty!
Oh wow!
So that is literally all my American maps. Some really old ones in here. Where is it? So I've got one of the original Epcot ones. It's probably the most strangest map I've ever seen in my life. It's really bizarre.
Oh wow. Oh, that is old. Oh wow. Oh my god, that is old. That is proper old.
Sponsored by Kodak. And it's got this weird, strange wheel on the back, which tells you which film to use for which kind of shot.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
it's very old. That was
Yeah,
from.
yeah, extremely.
Well, it's not that
Yeah,
old when you think about it. It's from '82. So I
but that's
suppose
when they used to. Obviously, a lot of the parks were sponsored by different, different
mainly
companies and stuff,
Kodak
weren't they?
in Florida. A lot of parks were
Mm,
Kodak sponsored. That
yeah.
I've got as well. So I've got here
Oh, it's Sunday night now.
the map from the opening year of MGM Studios.
Oh yeah, because MGM used to be because that is now Hollywood Studios, isn't it?
Yeah,
In Disney Hollywood Studios
and you
in
can see
Florida.
the size of the park compared to what it is now and what was there. It was hardly anything.
It was tiny, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was hard. It was mainly shows and the backcot tour. And you had the Great Movie Rabbit. You literally had nothing else other than that. It was mainly shows.
Yeah.
It was all
I
entertainment
remember,
based.
I actually went there as well. I went there when it was MGM. When I
Yeah,
went there in '94.
I've been when it's been on Gem twice, 96 and 99. I've got the map from opening year of Animal Kingdom.
Oh wow, I loved it. I loved it, Animal Kingdom. That was such an amazing place to go.
I've also
I stayed in Animal Kingdom Lodge. I stayed in
very
the
nice.
Sahara room as well, so looking onto the facing the actual animals and stuff.
I've also got this as well, which a lot of people won't know it unless you sort of what's behind you, Warren. Is it a curtain? It's actually a photo backdrop. It's like photo shoots. It's just not set up properly because I had to put it up in a rush. But yeah, it's a studio backdrop for photo shoots. I've got quite a couple. I've got like a church, a forest, a beach, things like that. But I've got this map here, which a lot of people won't, unless you've been to Florida quite a lot, sort of in the past. A lot of people won't know what this park was. It's gone now. Oops, no, it's flicked its page. Where is it? Where's it gone? Why has it done that? There we go.
Oh wow!
So that was a water park that was purely, it was natural water in a lake. It wasn't actual water park like chlorinated, so it wasn't open during winter months because it was cold. It wasn't heated.
Right.
I never actually got to do it. Whenever we went, it was always closed. And Discovery Island as well, which isn't there anymore. It's still there. The island's there. There's nothing on it. You can't go to it anymore. Yeah, James, River Country. That's right.
River Country, yeah.
So it's not. It's still there. It's just derelict. And then before we had Disney Springs, it was Disney Village, Marketplace, and
Oh yeah.
Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island was like for the adults. It was like the nightclubs and things like that before they sort of made it family friendly.
And then turned it into Disney Springs, didn't it?
Yeah, the boat's still there. I think that's a seafood restaurant.
Yes, it is. Yeah, near the fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
Well, that fish and chip shop ain't too bad either. We went there in 2019, and that was really nice.
The one in Springs.
Springs, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I like the one in Epcot as well. It's expensive for what it is, the Yorkshire chippy, but it's nice.
Oh, the one in Epcot, right? In the London quarter.
Yeah.
That was expensive, but it was nice.
So just to make anyone feel really annoyed at how much Disney is, I've got this pricing guide.
Oh,
which
yeah.
shows you the prices from 1989. So in 1989, a 5-day park hopper ticket was $112.
Oh no!
And it's probably, I think it's that now for a day.
Yeah, I know.
If more.
I mean, my nan had a Walt Disney World. My nan's got a Walt Disney World when she went, first time she went, and it was an entry. It was $20 to get into Walt Disney World.
My God, it's actually this.
I don't know what year it was,
so
but
expensive.
it had like a string on it, like a little string on the actual card. It was actually a card, and it was stamped by like ink stamped. It was $20 to get into Walt Disney World. Wet and Wild. Oh yeah, I remember that place. That was in Orlando, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's where the Universal summer is it Dockside Bay Hotel, I think it is now, or something like that.
Dockside Bay, yeah.
Yeah, that's on the land. I didn't like the park really. It was the bottom, so like the flooring of the park was very rough. To stand on, it was quite uncomfortable. Your feet. I'm trying to find. So I've got
£18 for donuts.
Jesus.
What's £18 for donuts? That was Rachel. Walking in the woods. Thanks very much for all your updates on your quizzes as well.
So this is what I was on about in the group chat as well. So this was clearly a house clearance. The person didn't know much about the products they were getting rid of. So this was in a box that I bought on eBay from the 15th anniversary of Disney World. It's a newspaper clipping.
Oh wow!
And on eBay, that's selling for $7,500.
$7,500.
Yeah, just for this newspaper clipping. So I'm going to wait a few more years and then try and cash it in.
Well, Mickey and Minnie look decent anyway.
Yeah, they don't look as.
Remember what they looked like when they were scary?
Yeah, they were really disgusting, weren't they?
But that was in obviously California, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when California first opened.
Well, I'm glad they changed Mickey and Minnie's face because he looks like.
Yeah, they weren't the most friendly of their experienced as children, in my opinion.
No, they would have scared me if they come up to me. I mean, they do scare some people, don't they? And even as they are now.
We've also got something you don't get anymore because they're now for both parks. You can't get them individually. But I've also got some individual Islands of Adventures maps. That's just for Islands of Adventures. Now it's both parks in one map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to get that. So I picked up quite a lot. That, like I said, that's just the American lot.
Wow.
It's really heavy.
They don't do maps anymore, though, do they?
I think Disney and Universal still do. In the UK, there's very few parks here that do them.
Yeah. I don't know about Europe. Do they do?
PortAventura do. Engilandia did. I didn't see any in Disneyland Paris. I think they ran out when we were there. They do do them, but we couldn't get any. I don't think they'd had any delivered them days we were there.
When I was in Walt Disney World, they had
yeah. One. Walt Disney World still do them, and they do them in like 7 different languages as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do them in Disney because James and Lindsay picked me up some last year. So I wanted to keep those sort of like continued, and like West Midlands Safari Park, they still do mats as well.
Yeah, I've got one of them. I've got one of their books. West Midlands Safari Park.
I've actually got a drawer full here. I actually can't remember the website. But I got doing this website where you could order like massive amounts of maps, and we
really selling them. What like old ones?
No, like new ones, like ones that are sent to tourist centres. And I ordered some. I went a bit insane, and I had a box with like 1,000 maps just delivered to my house.
Oh, really?
And it weighed an absolute ton. And we sold a lot of them for charity. To try and get rid of them. We've still got quite a few left. Like Sea Life Birmingham.
Sam's asking, what's your favourite piece of merch from theme park that you own?
That I own. Ooh.
favorite. That's what. And I've got loads of stuff merch wise. But well, from the parks that I've been to, but I haven't bought. Obviously, I haven't been going to parks for a long time, so I can't really.
I don't. That's a hard one, really. I mean,
because to tap, like, for instance, like, really last year was the gap back to when the last time I went to any theme parks was a long time ago. Apart from obviously Disney, but like the UK parks, I haven't been for such a long time.
I think it's a bit of a hard one. I would probably have to say one of my favourites is my Disney Skyliner Funko Pop that I've got.
All right.
I do like that one, and I like the Terra Funko that I've got as well.
All right. What, can you get them from there, or do you have to order them? Or
I managed to get the Skyliner one when I was there. Unfortunately, they're in the living room.
He's saying, "Can you see it?" No, the living room. Yeah. I've got this. I got this. This is probably for me. I got this when I was there in November, and it's probably I paid a lot of money for it as well, but I weren't going to pay out for the big one. But this is pretty much like incredible for me. If I can show you that one.
Oh yeah, I am.
It's the Art of Marvel Hotel.
Oh yeah,
in Disneyland Paris. So it's
like that. The Art of Marvel Hotel pin badge when I was there. I quite like that. It's quite a nice.
This is pretty decorative as well. It's got like all the bits where he stands on and stuff. It doesn't light up or anything, but it's pretty for me. That I do love, and the Star Wars stuff. I've got loads of T-shirts, Avengers stuff, and everything else like that. Disney stuff, Star Wars, loads of Lego. But I haven't got. The only sort of Merlin merch I've got is I've got a Alton Towers Christmas jumper, and I've got a Nemesis 25 T-shirt.
I have this as well. I showed Adam earlier, but
oh yeah. I don't know how, but Warren's got a Alton Towers
name badge.
Name badge.
Yeah. I know I haven't.
What's the Nemesis T-shirt? I've got to find it though. It's not about like to hand. I did have it earlier actually. The one behind me.
Who did you mug for that badge? I didn't mug anybody. It's not what you know, it's who we know.
The T-shirt that I've got is this one. Jodie bought me this for. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And then the back says that.
I used to have one with my logo on it, but it's just fading in the wash. I've got this one though, which was never actually released on the park. Let's see it. There we go.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, is that your logo on there?
No, that's Freak Show.
All right.
The Scare Maze, the maze that they had at Towers.
Yeah, Jodie got this.
2021.
When Jodie was at Disney, when we was at Disneyland, because it's 30 years of Disneyland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jodie got this.
See, I wanted to get a mug, but I didn't want to risk bringing mugs back.
It's got a Tinkerbell in the middle of the castle, and then it's got all diamonds around the outside. But it's the 30-year one, so it's 30 years of magic.
Yeah, Rachel. I got Rachel the jumper from that range.
Yeah, Jodie's got it as well. The blue one.
No, I think it's black.
All right, yeah, she's got the dark blue one, but she wants to get the 100-year stuff because we're going
Yeah.
we're going in March in
There's some nice stuff on that. It's very expensive though.
Toxic Junkyard. What's he talking about? Toxic Junkyard.
This.
Oh, okay.
If you played for a football team, what number would you have the back on your t-shirt? Well, it has to be 69. Yes, the Epcot cookie jar, amazing.
Oh, the one with the one that's the PlayStation, the space station.
Yeah,
that thing with the legs. Yeah, that's amazing.
We brought a Remy Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I was going to get one of those Remy Eiffel Tower sessions. I'm glad I didn't. Now saying it broken, but I want to get one. 69. Why 69? Sam, come
We're not answering that question, right?
What got you into theme park photography? Well, it certainly wasn't 69s, and it certainly wasn't Lindsay's used knickers. I don't know. To be quite honest, I don't know. I've always liked photography as a general. I've always liked theme parks since I was young. So I don't know. I don't know really what started it off. I fixed it with a bit of nail glue. Was all good. Oh, that's all right then, as long as it's fixed.
I mean, your pictures are on are pretty much like out of this world. In general.
Who are your favorite theme park vloggers? Question for you both. I don't tend to watch that many vlogs.
Theme park bloggers.
Yeah, I'm not a vlog watcher. I don't tend to have that much time to watch people's vlogs. I wouldn't be able to answer that one, Sam. I really wouldn't. But I can tell you my favorite gatekeeper is.
Wow. Gatekeeper.
He's certainly my favorite photographer.
I don't know who my favorite blogger is now. My favorite blogger now probably is.
Oh, annoying, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay, very, very much for that. Coaster Chicken isn't. I don't know. My favorite. I'll tell you what. Someone that's got his finger on the pulse all the time at the minute would have to be Joe from Theme Park Insanity. Because literally that man is non-stop. Like he's always bringing something out every minute, all the time. I can't keep up with him. You try, but no, I can't. But he is tops. I like him. And the rest of you guys, obviously.
Has anybody else got any questions? Because I'm going to be completely honest. I'm gasping for a fag.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
As long as I've gone without one unless I'm
sorry, it's 2.5 hours. I can't believe how time goes. When you start talking, it's just mad, isn't it?
Especially for me, I don't shut up. But a question for Lindsay, close to hen. When is your knickers going on sale? Because I've heard Sam wants some.
Theme park vlogging animal. What is he talking about?
Who's your theme park vlogging animal? Oh, it's trying for us to say a chicken, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Favorite?
Who's the theme park that got you into theme parks? Oh, don't ask me that question. Don't ask me that question.
Who's your favorite theme park vlogging animal? All right then. Now,
chicken.
There's actually another theme park vlogging animal, so that'll sub you out, won't it, James? I will say capybaras and coasters.
Oh yeah, there is them too. Yeah, I forgot about them. Capybaras and coasters. I forgot about him. He's really good. He met up with M and Oscar over at Legoland recently, and that was an amazing day. By the looks of
Warren,
things.
you can have some of Wendy's knickers. Oh no. No, Rachel. No, I told you I don't like fish.
Who got me into theme parks? Don't ask me that question, please.
Saw right through me. Absolutely, James. Absolutely.
That would be Mr. Sandbrook.
Would you do a ride based on Peaky Blinders?
Peaky
I've never
Blinders.
watched Peaky Blinders, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Big up Chester. That's it. Chester. That's it. Chester from Couple Barrows and Coasters, isn't it? He's brilliant. He had a really good time with Em and Oscar.
Beck says mice are animals too. I thought mice were rodents.
Mice. Oh yeah, I suppose well they're mouseketeers. So yeah, aren't they? Mouseketeers.
Anybody
mice.
got any non-animal underwear? Or
Question, because I think Warren wants to go and yeah.
And I also need to get ready for this weekend. So
yeah.
Would you do the euthanasia coaster? Well, at the minute. I'm not in a state of health where I need to plan euthanasia, Sam. James.
Euthanasia.
Will your nan ride Iron Man Escape from Krypton? Is that
where is Iron Man Escape from Krypton?
Six Flags Great America, is it? I think
no, she probably won't. She don't like anything that goes upside down.
I don't think it goes upside down. I think isn't that like free fall launch tower thing? Or is that Superman? Disneyland Iron Man Escape from Krypton. It's not Disneyland Paris.
Oh, the Iron Man one. She's talking about Rocking Road. She's talking about Aerosmith's co-star.
Yeah, you're talking about Avengers Flight Force.
Flight Force. She's talking about.
Yeah.
No, she won't get on Flight Force because it inverts.
I can't reveal what I'm doing this weekend, James, because I'm not sure if somebody else is watching this stream who doesn't know, so I cannot say a thing at the minute. Rachel, would you care to comment if it's safe to say something?
Are still animals, aren't they? Of course they are.
If Rachel can comment if it's safe to say something, then I will reveal what I'm doing this weekend. But otherwise, I can't because somebody will kill me.
Yeah, I've got that T-shirt, by the way, from Avengers Flight Force. I have got that too. I've got the T-shirt from Flight Force, and I've got a Disneyland Paris Avengers T-shirt too. Yeah. Okay, so
no, I think
I'll wrap it up because we've been here for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Right.
The cat's out of the bag now. Rachel messaged me because she's talking in riddles. What do you smoke? Well, it depends. Depends whether I buy it from a shop or look on Grindr.
Right.
Sam's going to Lidl this weekend. Lovely.
Lidl.
I'm waiting till payday. Then I can go and do my weekly shop at M&S on Monday.
Right. I think that we'll call it a day now. I think.
Lidl or Aldi, for God's sake.
Lidl. Yeah.
Have you tried the toffee yum yums in Lidl? No, but I've tried the cookies in Lidl, and they're to die for. Not as nice as Subway's cookies, though.
Yeah.
James's weekly toffee yum yum consumption increased to 8 this week. Have a great. Please make sure you sub to the channel. Smash the like.
That's me. They're moderators on my channel.
All right, okay. Shush, Lindsay. I need to try that. Had yum yums earlier. I don't like yum yums. I'm not a huge fan of things that are pastry based. I don't like sausage rolls. Don't like yum yums. Don't like all
that. Yeah.
8 rookie number. What? Subway cookies are good though. They are really good. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What's your Subway order? I don't eat Subway, apart from cookies. Oh, I'll tell a lie, actually. I do like them Dorito dipper things, chicken dippers that they do. But I don't like Subway sandwiches. I mean, I like a foot long, but not from Subway. What's Dan up to? Dan's probably fast asleep.
Probably now, yeah.
Because it's past his bedtime. I can't hear him.
Like
Actually.
it's 20 to 11.
I think he's asleep.
It's 20 to 11.
Yeah, most likely be asleep. I'll be up till God knows what time. I've got to take this down and then find on my stuff. I ain't no clue what it is.
I got to edit a video now, so
This takes forever to take down, and then I might just leave. I can't leave it up because I've got to find some stuff out. What are you up to this weekend, Adam?
He's talking about me now. Right, so we're gonna leave it there, I think, and let Warren get whatever he's doing this weekend and let him get on with his weekend. Thanks, Warren, for joining us today. Sorry about the 100 million questions.
It's expected because we've got Sam and we've got James in.
Yeah.
Is the Saturday the new Sunday?
I don't know. It all depends on what time it is.
Depends. I suppose it depends, really.
Bye, Rachel.
Bye, Rachel. She'll be going to bed now. She's old.
Right. Thanks for joining us anyway.
No problem.
Thanks for popping in and that. And obviously, I'll keep looking at all your photos and stuff that you come out with and everything else. Keep in touch with everything that's going on. Obviously, when you go over to these parks in Europe, please take loads of photos and please post them and we'll comment. And obviously, I know you're going to edit them really well. And when you get certain, obviously, loads of them will be really cool.
Do you like Philip Schofield? Oh my God.
Right, now he's just.
In what respect are we talking here, Sam? Because you are so random.
No, he's just. I think he's
Philip Schofield.
I think he's just now being like.
Bye, guys. We're off to Hollywood Studios now. Rub it in.
You know why they're going there? Because they're moderators on Park Hoppers. And they're about to go live.
Rub it in, why don't you? I enjoyed him when I saw him in Joseph. I ain't seen him in Joe. I saw him in Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, it was a very long time ago.
Oh, we've still got 8 people in there, so it's not too bad.
My God.
All right, so they're moderating there now. Right, so thanks very much.
10 for Philip Schofield. I'm not answering that because I just don't know in what context you mean. And I'm slowly but surely now, my ass is numb. My back is killing because this chair is knackered. And I've got like square eyes because I've been on a computer all chuffing day.
No, we're not going. We're not going for 3 hours, Sam.
No. I mean, it's only 15 minutes away, like, but
no. I'm going to let Warren go, but I'll talk to you for 15 minutes if you want. All right, but I'll let Warren go because it looks like he wants to go to the loo and everything. Right, so we're going to let Warren go now.
I feel like my back's like
that way. Is it that way? That way. All right. Thank you, Warren, for joining us. And we'll speak to you very, very soon, obviously, on the chats and everything else. Thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much for telling me all the information about you and your channel and your photographs and everything else. Thank you so much.
No worries.
And we'll see you again soon.
See you later.
Bye. Right. Hi, everyone. So it's just me now. I don't know if you want to ask me any questions now. Obviously, Warren's now gone. Thanks for Warren for joining. Thanks very much for joining us today. Warren's now gone. But thanks very much. He is an amazing photographer, and he's changes of his the way he edits his videos and everything else like that is amazing. Jodie is fine. She's asleep. She's been working hard all day. She's all right. Dave, that's a secret project that I'm doing at the minute, so I can't say anything about that at the minute. But it's going to be coming out soon-ish next week. Our next show we have the Thompson Life in next week. That'll be really good. So I'm going to interview them. And the week after that, I have the Three Musketeers, the Thompson Life, Rob and Lauren from the Thompson Life. They were in earlier. If they're still in, hello. They're probably gone now. But I've got after that the Three Musketeers the week after that. And also I have actually that. So yeah, Thompson Life next week. Then the week after that is the Three Musketeers. That's the 10th of March. And then on the 17th of March, I have Joe from Theme Park Insanity. I managed to secure Joe the day before on Towers opening day. So how cool is that? Can't wait for that to get Joe in. I've managed to talk to Joe, and he is. I'm going to talk all the things about theme parks and everything else. So I managed to get him if he's not too busy. But he said it's the day before Towers, so he is well up for it. And obviously we've got that meet up at 12 o'clock at Towers for Curse of Alton Manor. So I can't wait for that. So it'd be absolutely. I can't wait to get him in and talk to him all about all things technical. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, it'll be on. I'll try not to keep him too long on the 17th. I mean, I need to have an early night as well. So I'm dry. I mean, I'm going to be at Legoland all day on the. I'm going to be at Legoland all day on the 17th, and then I'm going to Alton Towers on the Saturday. I've got a mission. Dave, I've got a mission for you on the 17th. What mission? Hot date at Mac is at 7 a.m. Which McDonald's? As you're talking about the one near Towers? The one on that roundabout where the petrol station is. It's my pre-breakfast. Yeah, I like McDonald's. I love McDonald's breakfast. Are you talking about the one as you go from... Is that Utoxeter, that one? There's one in the... what time am I getting to Towers? Early. Jodie wants to ride the monorail. She doesn't want to walk all the way to... Because obviously it's a long day. So she wants to ride the monorail. So I'm going to be there really early to get in the queue for the monorail. Really early. So I'm going to be actually probably one of the first ones on the monorail. So I'm getting up there for about... I don't know, well before... I'll be in the queue for the monorail about 8:30. I think. The two best. Oh, past Towers. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, but the R1 is as we come up, because we come up from Roundabout opens at 10. Oh yeah, well, I've seen it moving long before that, but I know it opens at 10. But I want to try and unless I can convince Jodie to come up that one. So yeah, I'm not sure, but hopefully I'll be able to get her there. Cool. Okay, so that's Rands Adventures. Thank you very much for watching today. Obviously, please don't forget to click and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell. What will I be riding first? I'm not sure. Maybe the Curse of Walton Manor and Smiler, I guess. I think everybody's going to go to Curse of Walton Manor, though. You just subscribed. I hope so. Don't forget to click that notification bell, please. Don't forget to comment below as well. I like to do that. Please don't forget to comment below. Click that like bell. And obviously, please comment below as well. That'd be really, really nice to get my ratings up a bit more. I've got 700 followers on Instagram today, which is amazing. So that is really cool. I'm so happy about that. What's the bell? The notification bell on your YouTube. Another bell, you got the bell in it. You've got them 2 marks next to it. Thank you very much, Sam, for that. Yeah. I want to get to. I don't like hot food, so I want to get to 200 subscribers on YouTube, and then I'm going to eat something hot. I don't like hot food at all. So if I get to 200, I'm going to do like eat something really hot. I know that sounds a bit weird, but because no roller coaster scares me anyway. Nothing really scares me. Ghost chilies. Oh, I don't know about ghost chilies. Ghost chilies. How hot is the ghost chili? What sort of? They've got ratings, haven't they? What are they like? What's the rating on hot food? I forgot what it's called. Hi, Breaking Phils. How are you? I'm sorry. Warren's gone now. He's went because we was online for too long. It's 5 million Schofields. Funny. Pizza. Our pizza's no problem. Roast beef, that's all right. Hi, Matt. Yeah, I mean it's I need to do something anyway. I want to get to 1,000 really, but yeah. So I'm going to bring my. So I was just going to say I'm going to bring my content out on obviously I've got Fridays. I'm going to bring my content out on a Tuesday. About 6 o'clock on a Tuesday. So anything I release from in the future will be on a Tuesday at 6, and then obviously this would be on a Friday at 8 o'clock. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be permanent. So if I release anything, even if I record from the weekend, I'll just store them, and then so I can bring things out one bit after the other. So it will be really good. Yeah, Matt, it's hard to get to that much. It's really hard to get to. I mean, but I'm just going to make memories and do that and try and get as many. Who else wants to come on the channel? As I said, like so next week I have Rob and Lauren from Thompson Life. Week after that I have the Three Musketeers. Week after that I have Theme Park Insanity. Anybody else wants to, that's up to the 17th of March. Anybody else who wants to come on, obviously I can change times or day. I would like to see on a Friday, but if you can't make Friday because of commitments or whatever, I will move. How many blogs will come from opening day? loads. Well, not really loads. Probably one from opening day, but from all of us, probably loads. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do. I'm not really pushing for subs. I want to get subs eventually, obviously, but I just want to be. I just want to be like normal and try and get as many vlogs, like, try and get subscribers, trying to get thing. But obviously, I'm just recording and just trying to make it, trying to record everything as much as I can. What camera do I use? My phone. So I've got a Galaxy Z Fold 3. So obviously it's got a 4K. It's got like 3 lenses, so it's got like for depth perception and stuff. I do want to get, but my battery dies really quick because this phone is because I can vlog on this camera, but also I can do live streams on it. But it's not bad. It's okay. But it opens as well, so I can see it live. So it's got it's like a fold one. So it's got, you can't really see it well because it's like in my picture, but it's got things. So it's all right. So it's pretty cool. But I've got that stuff though that I have. But the other one, that's the one I always carry with me. But so I can see the live stream really easy. Yeah, I'll try. Well, I've got the thing is with my phone, it doesn't fit in a normal gimbal because of what it is. It's what me and Sam do. We see a vlog over a camera and run from it. Yeah. I'll try. Well, I'll try to. I get pretty nervous like lifting the camera up, to be honest, and I'll try not to. My voice tends to go quiet when people are around me when I'm trying to talk, and then I sort of tend to quieten my voice. There is a lot of cameras around towers, yes, a lot of cameras. Vloggers, anyway, there's a lot of vloggers around towers. I need to get some footage from coasters and stuff. I want to do an intro for my channel for this and for my videos. So I want to try and get some decent footage of some coasters. So I can't get Nemi, but I want to try and get sort of like the video of like Galactica, video of like Oblivion, Smiler, Wicker Man, Rita, that sort of thing. So I would imagine that Steve's probably working. That's why he's not been on. I reckon he does work all kinds of hours, yeah. So I doubt he's in today. I've not seen him at all. I hope he's okay. Obviously, we see Dow and Jess earlier. Don't be no. Yeah, I shouldn't really get. I should really sort of like just enjoy the moment and just don't think about everybody else. But I like to I shouldn't really think about anybody, how they feel, how they look at me or whatever. But I tend to try and I'll try to be as best as I can, you know, in my own way. But, you know, I want to be, you know, I don't want to be sort of like, if anybody comes up to me, I'll say hello to them and whatever like that. So it's not too bad. Sam, I got to 3 hours, if that helps. I've still got 2 people on, so that's not bad. I mean, I had 14 at the beginning. I've got 2 now. Well, I've got more than 2, I think, but there's only 2 showing on my thing. So, yes, Dave, I know it's 11 o'clock. I want to sit down and relax now. I'm going to have some food and go to bed. Go have some food and drink and stuff, and then go to bed in a little bit. So, as I said, thanks very much for joining. Thanks very much for listening to me ramble on, and obviously thanks to Warren for coming in. Don't forget to click and subscribe, as I said before. Don't forget to click that notification bell. Don't forget to like and comment below. If you need to ask me any questions, please let me know. Thanks very much. Thanks everybody that joined in the chat tonight. Everybody, Coaster Capturers, Darren, loads of people. Obviously, Coaster Chicken, Coaster Talk, Dave, Breaking Thrills, Three Musketeers. Don't know who else came in. Obviously, Emily from Oscar's Airtime. I think. Who else do we have? Let's have a quick look who we had. Obviously, both of the Coaster Hen as well. Obviously, we had Three Musketeers. Adventure Rachel. We had her as well. That's good. We also had, who else do we have? Just trying to see who else we had. Walking in the Woods. Don't forget to catch the Walking in the Woods' quiz on Sunday night, the 80s night. That's going to be amazing. I am definitely joining that on Sunday night. Just don't forget to listen to all them. Don't forget to follow everybody in this chat that I've mentioned. I will put a link to the people below, or please follow us in general. That would be amazing. We are the family, that we are a positive community of YouTubers that like theme parks, like being kids, adults, but being kids in theme parks. Take our stresses away. I love what we do. Love to share memories with people. So fair memory with friends and family, children, whoever you can. Thanks very, very much for joining, and we'll see you later. Thanks very much for joining Rands Adventures. And this has been Theme Park Chat. Bye-bye for now.